Championship. 6 weeks of rivalry, intrigue and drama on the way, and you will not miss a thing with us. Ireland have some memories in this place, having beaten South Africa and Scotland in the World Cup. You were making that point earlier, Donncha. It's not necessarily a place of Irish heartache.
No, absolutely not, and Caelan Doris was mentioning that. These players will have fond memories of it, but it's a little bit different tonight. It is a sea of blue. They're up against it. They're hunting for the night, Chris.
Carl Dixon, the referee, says to Sam Prendergast, let's go to work. He obliges and kicks from left to right, where it's taken in by France. And Antoine Dupont urged to use it by referee Dixon, the Englishman. And he does just that, hooks it towards touch. Solid kick from the number 9, and Ireland will have a platform 40-odd metres out from the French line, throwing into the line now. Chris Ashton.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how France start, because they had really a poor autumn, really, by their standards, the past few years. They didn't get going at all, really, so they'll be hoping they get going quickly in this game.
One in the line out nicely by the skipper Doris, into midfield to Sam Prendergast. Sent it on into the midfield, onto the sponsor's logo. Slap bang in centre field on the halfway line. France stopping Ireland dead in their tracks. Gibson Park going to the boot. Chasing is Tommy O'Brien against Biel Biarri, who's got that one. I think O'Brien might. What do you reckon, guys? No, that's back in French position. Bit of a mess, shows how close these contests are in the air. Real 50-50s, but France just about hang on to it and set it up.
Such a good take, though, from Biel Biarri. It was hard, it was in the centre of the pitch. He's come a long way to catch that, and he's got above Osborne, I think, to catch it. But, you know, discipline's been a problem for France as well as Ireland. So Sean Edwards will have been on for his defence to be upright tonight.
Well, France get the kick back and they're spinning it down this left-hand touchline. Murphy gets it away, lovely hands. Ramos Biarri's going to kick for himself. Can he get this, Biarri? Oh, you're joking! He's got a toe to it, and France would have scored! But Francois Cross has knocked it on. Oh, Charles Oliphant, the final man there. Biarri was away. That trademark little left foot dink. We saw it in Dublin last year, didn't we, Donncha?
Absolutely.
And what a chance for France, but they knock on Irish scrum.
Yeah, incredible. It just shows these kind of players just slide on space, not a whole lot in it. Someone gets their hands free and just able to put him into the hole, and he is lethal like that. Brilliant chip over and a ball back inside. Just unfortunately doesn't land, and a knock-on saves Ireland.
Oof. Biel Biarri's annoyed. That's not how this script ends, is it?
No, 8 tries last season,
when
a
he
record.
Does a kick, he feels he corrects it, he collects and scores. That's the end of it.
Or worst case scenario, someone else collects and scores, but Oliphant didn't manage it. Oh, that's a let-off for Ireland. And when you come somewhere as an underdog and you're playing a team with all the power and the X-factor of France, the last thing you want to do is be under your post after a couple of minutes.
It's a let-off, but it's the first touch Mofan has had. He's gone through 2 tacklers and got an offload away and up the touchline within 2 minutes. I mean, it's amazing play from France, but with Ireland, you've got to be looking at it going, is that danger signs?
5 Live and BBC Sounds live at the Stade de France, your home of the Six Nations. Every game on BBC Sounds 5 Live or 5 Sports Extra. All the best coverage across TV and online as well with the BBC. This is a big area, the Irish scrum, which creaked in the autumn, and they are down a few men in that front row as well. 2-3 of their first choice loose heads all injured. That time, Donncha, your area of expertise, you've been in many a test scrum. Looked like Ireland were holding their own there.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think there is an early part in the game, Chris, where you're trying to find your feet, but it's just moments like this that puts a microscope on this Irish team. It hasn't been good over the autumn. This is an area, we discussed it earlier, that teams are going to come at, and France are looking at Carl Dixon saying, we know that we can get the upper hand here. Other teams have done it. Ireland will be looking to do everything to get out of this area, and there's some days you don't have to pick your battles 5 metres out from your own try line. This is channel 1. Get this ball in and out and into touch as quick as you can.
The voice of Donncha O'Callaghan with us on 5 Live. 94 Ireland caps, one of the greats of Irish rugby, a Grand Slam winner, a British Irish Lion as well, fed by Jamison Gibson Park. This time France getting a little bit of a nudge, but Gibson Park comes away and whacks it clear. And an Ireland exit well. Thomas Ramos now in the backfield on his own 10-metre line. He's dancing, he's running despite these wet conditions, and Deportes just spins out the tackle and does well. They're making meters here, France. That's ominous for Ireland. There for Dupont with front foot ball. Here's Jalibert, who loves it going forward. The offload a bit ambitious though from Julien Marchand, and Ireland get it. But warning signs there, actually, with the way France are able to get through the Irish defence. As Gibson Park switches with Prendergast, who looks for a big kick. Biel Biarri's back there. A word from Chris Ashton in a moment, but the ball in play time is high. 5 minutes gone. Biel Biarri clears. This time Gibson Park is under it on the right touchline, just below us here in our perfect vantage position at the Stade de France. Jamie Osborne, left foot, this could be 50-22. Oh, what a kick, as that bounced inside. What a kick from Jamie Osborne. Such a talented player, can play right across the back line. And Ireland, out of nowhere, have a line out 10, 12 metres out.
Yeah, amazing skill. You can see this Irish team are looking to stay long and on with the ball. They're not looking to put it into touch. But Osborne there realising and backing himself with an incredible skill set to maybe turn that ball over 50-22, and now Ireland have the ball.
That's an unbelievable kick really from Osborne to find the space and turn the ball. France looked before that offloading, and almost every contact was an offload. Here we go, Ireland.
Ireland with the start to play. Oh, nice McCloskey. Sam Prendergast. Oh, he's got up and he's tried to offload to Van der Fleer. Couldn't quite gather. It's been knocked on. That's frustrating. Wasn't a bad play, and they just forced it, actually. It's France at the scrum, but what an attacking opportunity there for the Irish.
So well at set piece. First time in the 22. There's no rush here. You don't need to force offloads and try and get something out of everything. Prendergast did so well. Van der Fleer's not expecting that, Donica.
No, not at all. He's first arrival there, so he's looking to light up that ruck. But I suppose that's when you're playing a player like Sam Prendergast. You know, if he's going to get his hands free and offload the ball, that tends to, I always found, happen in your first Six Nations. That little bit, I hate to call it rustiness, but just getting up to international pace, Six Nations pace, that's what you need.
Yeah, I mean, it can be a case of him trying too hard as well. But he done all that. He was all in positive. And then as a player, you just don't want that, especially a back row. You don't want that going into a ruck, do you? It's the last thing you're thinking about. There's 4 other jobs to do before you're looking at an offload in such close quarters. It's a shame. Can't take for granted them getting into the 22 that easily.
It's difficult as well for Josh Van der Fleer. He knows he's up against, potentially 5 back rowers on the pitch today. The breakdown is key area for him. He's arriving to go to work and light that up.
Well, you may have heard over the ref link, Carl Dixon getting a bit frustrated with the front rows because the scrum, there's the 3-4 resets now for this scrum. It's a really important one, 8-9 metres out from France's own line. So Ireland will be desperate not to concede a free kick or a penalty here and give France an easy out. The first Mexican wave of the night, capacity crowd here at the Stade de France. Rock solid scrum from both sides, encouraging this for Ireland because 3 scrums, and so far they've given as good as they've got. Cleared by Jalibert. He's kicking long and keeping it on. Jamie Osborne, who had that brilliant intervention with the 50-22, runs it back, tackled on halfway, but gets up and goes on. There for Gibson Park to the right. Ty Byrne in the blue scrum cap. God, one of the French players came in really low there. Referee, I think, was happy that there was an arm in the tackle. Gibson Park, snow on his kick as ever. Perfectly weighted. What a good kick that is. Up went Stockdale, couldn't get it. France get the loose ball, but this kicking game, 3-4 kicks now, been so contestable.
They're the contest that France were losing though recently. Loose ball off a box kick. They're on the spot at the minute. I think that was the second row that caught that rebound.
Yeah, Michael Guillard coming away with it as Dupont clears down the throat of Osborne. He goes infield to his 10, Sam Prendergast, who goes cross-field looking for O'Brien. That's really nice from Sam Prendergast. And Tommy O'Brien's going to take on Ramos here. He's probably got the edge on him pace-wise. Ramos comes back. He had a head start, did the French fullback. But Ireland are pouring forward now looking for the penalty. I think France have just about survived. Clever from Sam Prendergast, Donica. That cross kick, that's creative. That's what you need in the Stade de France against this French side.
Absolutely, and it was more of a kick pass really, that kind of crossfield kick, but he sees that he's there. He can reach him with his left arm there, so he's able to have the skill set to put it on his toe, and an incredible kick out, and Dupont exits here for France.
Yeah, with his left boot, and he's cleared up to halfway. That's a touch of class from the great Antoine Dupont. Wrong boot, cleared from his own line up to halfway.
If you're Ireland, you really need those bits to come off for you and turn into points. That's an amazing bit of skill, but it's not come to anything. I think Osborne kicked, I think he might have been slightly in front. Even he didn't expect it to be such a good kick pass. You've got to turn them into points.
Let's go, Ireland.
That's 2 opportunities now. They've got to turn it into something, Ireland.
Well, Ireland urged to get on with the game by Carl Dixon, and they win it in the line out nicely, do the Irish. That was Cian Prendergast. Here's Caelan Doris talking about his own form to us in the build-up. That was a good carry from the skipper. Gibson Park again going to the boot. It's a tactical game of chess. Again, it's a great contest, and I think again France have just about edged the aerial, and they've got the free kick. So a brilliant claim from Louis Bielbiarri.
He's under so much pressure. And you think now, really, the attacking player has got the advantage, because Bielbiarri stood static under a ball, and he still managed to get up there and win the ball back for his team. No, we're seeing maybe Galtier expected this game plan from Ireland, and that's maybe why Penaud's not in the team, even more so. Yeah,
cagey opening 10, Donncha, but loads to talk about. France 0, Ireland 0 after 10.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, I think we're looking, is the game evolving? The answer in the first 10 minutes is no. Like, we're seeing launch of line-out and scrum, and we're kicking on phase 1. So the game is still in that state of reward for the kicking, and it's who can live in that now and execute better, as Ashley was saying.
Ireland on halfway. Prendergast finds Gary Ringrose. Tackled just short of the halfway line. There for Gibson Park, look right and wait left to Dan Sheehan, the Lions test hooker. The man who started all 3 of those tests and was in fine try-scoring form in the Championship last year with 5 tries from hooker, which is pretty remarkable. Gibson Park's kick is again perfect. These kicks from Gibson Park are on the money. France keep winning the scraps. It's so close, but France again have regained the ball. There's nothing wrong with Gibson Park's kicking. It is on the money as Michael Gerard sets it up inside their own 22. France still no points on 5 Live. Packed out house at the Stade de France on a Thursday night, as France with a weird little kick, which Ireland have done well to get back and tidy up, and they will have the ball. Will they look to play here, Donncha, Ireland? Because Gibson Park have been kicking everything from early phases, as you say. That's a little ball from Sam Prendergast. Burns knocked on. This is where France will come alive on turnover. At a Sogbay kicks. Osborne's going back inside his own 22. He clears, doesn't find a good clearance actually, with no angle to work with, but France are running it back through Ramos over halfway, stepping the Toulouse full-back, and France at last have a little bit of field position.
Use it, please.
Almost 12 gone on 5 Live. There for Dupont, who passes out to Jalabert as Allaire Le Bleu rings around the Stade de France. Still can't see too many. I mean, the odd Irish flag, but on the whole, it is a incredibly partisan French support in here. As the French, through Dupont, spin it to the left. It's a good tackle by Dan Sheehan on the gain line there for Ireland. What have France got here? Jalabert will kick, looking for space. Bielbiarri is on that, looking for the 50-22. A horrible one for Prendergast, and all he can do is kind of volley it football style. It pounces. It's picked up by Nicolas Deporter. Now they come to the short side. Deporter to Murphan, and they thought that was forward. Bielbiarri's away down the left touchline. Great tap on Prendergast, but Bielbiarri's up, and he skins Stockdale, and he's in for another one. And listen to the Stade.
They might check that pass, Jonesy. I don't want to take the edge off this, but one of them looked like it could slightly for forward, but so good from the French team in a really short 3-metre space. Bielbiarri got tackled 3 times, an ankle tap back off the floor, and still managed to skin everybody in his front flap. What a try! If it's given, it's on the borderline, isn't it? Poor Jamie Osborne's got Antoine Dupont on his inside and Bielbiarri on his outside. Who'd you take?
Well, funny how, I mean, that's a man after your own heart, Chris Ashton, because he could have given it to Dupont for a walk-in.
No chance.
But after the early missed opportunity, he scored 8 in the Championship last year. He's got 20.
That's a try scorer.
21 tries in 23 tests. That is a try scorer to his bootstraps. It looks like the pass is going to be declared okay. Ramos whacks over the goal, and France lead by 7, Donncha O'Callaghan.
Yeah, and it's an incredible, as Chris said, it's incredible use of space. We saw Sam Prendergast come across, kind of fly kick it and volley it. You wonder, is it better in touch? But with a talent like that, even in 3 metres of space, he's able to manipulate it, find a way, and what a fantastic score.
It was the bit... yes, he's fly hacked it, Prendergast, right, and that's a gamble. Ball stays in. It's the defensive decision after that. Yeah. He chases up and chases in, and
Yeah, you've got to make
you've got unbelievable attacking players. You're giving them. They do that in training all the time. You're giving them the opportunity.
And I do wonder whether the referees are, well, I know they're on an edict to speed up the game where possible, not to have too much TMO interference, because there will be chat about that pass and whether it edged forward. But I think Ian Tempest has looked at it once and gone, play on. No point pouring over it 10 times if it's borderline. And the try is given and France lead, and they counter-rupt Ireland and they win the penalty as Ireland hold on.
I'm still struck by the try. It was so good. I think we've gone across it so quickly. There's no other team in the championship that turns that into a try. It's just bang, bang, gone. 50 metres. BL Berry turns the gas on, try.
Well,
and now here, there again.
Broken field, broken defence. They are lethal, and they have a line out now. Donica on the 22 in Irish territory.
Yeah, and for this Irish team, you mentioned discipline, but discipline within the kicking game, I suppose. If we look at Prendergast's fly hack, maybe that is better off the pitch and start again. Or you look at Gibson Park over the other end looking to run it. If you're going to play this kicking game, you've got to be disciplined to stick to it.
Not get bored. Just keep going back to it. France win the line out. Marchand at the back of the maul here. Dupont wants it. Oh, Ireland have done pretty well to come through. Is that Cian Prendergast making mischief of himself? Dupont flips it out to Moefana wearing number 12. Good leg pump, and the fans appreciate that. Then he's driven back in the tackle, but France are lurking here just outside the Irish 22. That is a good solid Irish defensive line here, as Dupont looks left, looks right, goes to the right, where the forwards drive on once more. Gain from Dupont out to Jean-Baptiste Gros, the loose head prop, comfortable in the open spaces, these French tight forwards. Now they come out the back. Ramos, wide it comes to Deporter. He had Bielbieri wanting the ball. He's really sniffing tries tonight, isn't he? Louis Bielbieri, lovely ball from Ramos back inside to Dupont. Dupont just short of the 22. This is dangerous stuff from the French as Marchand bustles. Now they pick and go once more through Oscar Jegu. Then they've lost the ball. Was referee Dixon happy? Yeah, he's happy that there was nothing illegal, but there was a knock-on by Ireland. So it will be a scrum, Donica, to France, 22. Oh, this is a nice attacking platform for Le Bleu.
Yeah, and we look at some of the skill sets. Just Ramos in close to the play here, taking it around and putting a ball back inside. Just the skill set of this French team. I know we're chatting an awful lot about the kicking game, but broken field, Chris, they are so dangerous, and they'll make you pay if you don't do your role right.
You can only do that with a guy that you've played 200 games with, can't you? He didn't even think, he just knew that Dupont would understand what he's looking at it, and it came off. But Ireland looked like to me like they're struggling to slow the ball down at the breakdown.
And talking about slowing down, listen to Cole Dixon. He's done it at the line out, he's done it at the scrum, and he's done it at this scrum, because it happens all the time. The moment they come on with the water, don't they? Messages coming in from the touchline. And Cole Dixon is saying, get off, let's get on with the game. Great to see, let's hope it continues.
Fantastic, Chris. We're all sick of seeing 2 hour, plus rugby games. Let's see a full-out, pacey game with incredible athletes that actually have to fatigue.
Yeah, for sure. The game can be played in many different ways. Doesn't have to be all helter-skelter, but you just want there to be flow, don't you? And Cole Dixon trying to get that into the game tonight. Dupont goes to feed the scrum. It's collapsed.
I can't guess from this side.
You keep your eye on the scrums here, Donica. You've been in test scrums 94 times for Ireland and for the Lions as well. This Irish front row, Jeremy Lockman, Dan Sheehan, Thomas Clarkson, 3 loose heads. Porter, McCarthy, Boyle, all out for Ireland. Joe McCarthy, Ty Byrne in the second row. Cian Prendergast, Josh van der Fleer, Caelan Doris, the back row. France of Jean-Baptiste Gros, Julien Marchand, Dorian Aldegheri. No Winnie Atoni, a very sad story with his heart problems, having to retire prematurely. Charles Olivon and Michael Guillard in the second row. Francois Crowe, Oscar Jegu, Anthony Jalonche make up the French pack. And when it comes to the French backs, Louis Bielbieri's already scored tonight. He is right behind the scrum. He's next to Bordeaux teammate Jalabert. Here's Toulouse's Dupont, out to Jalabert. He flips it on to Moefana, out the back. Well read Gibson Park. He sacked Jalabert and breaks down that attack. That was outstanding from the Irish 9. And France are dealing with some very messy ball over on the far side. And that is experience from Gibson Park to read the play and completely snuff out that French attack. It's going to be a line-out on the far side.
You were really busy talking scrums there, so I was looking at the back line. You were boring me senseless there, Chris. I thought it was the wrong way for France to go. Ireland seemed really set up on that side, and they played straight into the hands. Really easy, smart defence from Ireland, just to snuff it out and stop any sort of attack from France. Disappointing, really.
Yeah, it's very sharp by Gibson Park. I think there's a lot of talk in Ireland about the different defensive systems between Leinster and then up at national level, but that's just really smart play by a really good rugby player in Gibson Park to keep going forward and read the play really well.
Well, talking about going forward, France are doing that at this line-out. They did a cute one just at the front. Marchand then went down the short side, another penalty as Ireland infringe, and they've gone quickly. Dupont is tapping. Was Gibson Park back 10? I'm not sure if he was, but the referee maybe is happy. Either way, 22 there for France. Dupont to the left, Jalibert inside, nice ball. Marchand, he sets it up just short of that 22. France lead by 7, they want another one as Moefana goes out the back to Jalibert. Jégu, good carry, bouncing past Gibson Park. He's still going, Oscar Jégu. What a young player this is. Just 22. Dupont to the right. They've got their tails up a little bit here, Le Bleu. Centre field. Dupont, options left and right as the forwards trundle around the corner. Therefore, Moefana again. As Alain Le Bleu rings around the Stade de France. 20 minutes gone on 5 Live. With a run-up, the French forwards come. Anthony Jalonge there. 12 metres out there, edging forward steadily and dangerously. Jalibert inside to Ramos. Jalonge there once again to add his heft. To the left, Guillard. Oh, lovely offload. Can they get this away? If they can, it could be another try. An inside ball from Depater, doesn't need it. Oh, and he gives it to Sam Prendergast. And then Prendergast, oh, what's he doing? He's thrown it to O'Brien and he's taken it dead. So Depater was almost in. One pass would have been another French try. Prendergast did so well to intercept it. Ben was kind of quarterback style sacked, wasn't he? And I mean, if you're Tommy O'Brien, you're kind of like, cheers, mate, because he then got a ball in his dead ball area and he was bundled to ground, and France at the scrum.
It's the ultimate line for what is a hospital pass. Like the golden rule is don't pass it on if you're not in a better position than me, and unfortunately for Tommy O'Brien, after taking the ball in there, you know, he can do nothing else but dot that ball down, and Chris will be delighted that we're back to a scrum 5 metres out if you want to take it from here.
Well, talk us through France's options here then, Ashley. They've got them in abundance.
Judging off what we've just seen, you've got to match them physically one-on-one. If you don't win that battle, they'll go wide. They've got so many threats. If you're not at the ruck quick enough, Dupont will go. It's everywhere.
You can just sense the crowd know what's coming here. There is just a build-up of anticipation as Dupont comes to the left. Jalibert walks it in. Too easy. France in again. This place erupts. Ireland back under their sticks. And France extend their lead. Mathieu Jalibert, the scorer. Very, very simple.
Yeah, incredibly simple. And Chris, you can be tough, but when you have a scrummaging threat and your back rows know they have to stay bound, they have to give everything, it opens up that blind side. And that seems to be where France is, you know, are really identifying and getting an awful lot of reward from. This is quite simple, really. Dupont takes it, it's simple catch pass. There is some poor misses though from an Irish point of view, but an incredible score.
It's the pressure at the back of the scrum, isn't it? No support, the lads defending for Ireland. You've got nothing on the inside. Yeah, they should be making more of a fight of it, but they were outnumbered either way. Both players, Bielbarrère could have scored that either, but Jalibert's had a good start to this game.
God, he's right on the edge of the clock here, Ramos. Oh, has he beaten it by a second? And he's hit the post, so maybe he was hurried. And it stays.
He was definitely hurried there.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was throwing the ball and had to get it down. I'm liking what Carl Dixon's doing here, the referee.
Yeah, I mean, it's been great for 22 minutes, but can he continue it for 80? Can every other ref do it for the other 14 matches of the Six Nations? Well, this is a test of Irish character here, Donncha. They've been struggling to score points against the really big teams, and they're already 12-0 down after 22 minutes.
Yeah, and this French team look different, you know, in terms of even in contact.
There you go. Well, Carl Dixon said knock on, yeah. He said knock on, then left it, and then went back to his original decision. But it just takes a moment, doesn't it, for Ireland to get right back into this. At the moment, the break's not going their way. They've knocked it on there, France, at the scrum.
Absolutely, and look, it's that fight for next score. You don't want it, especially over here, you don't want them pushing 3 scores clear. But this French team are a little bit different. Just the leg drive within contact. I think we're seeing a different type of athlete. I know we chatted about it in selection and how they've gone, but just their ability to either have options within contact, before contact, and just leg drive as well. They're always winning the game.
The voice of Donncha O'Callaghan, 94 Ireland caps, a Grand Slam winner with the Irish in 2009, a Lions tourist that year as well.
Yeah, the next points are important, aren't they?
Oh, for sure, yeah. Difference between 12-7 and 19-0. I mean, it's an obvious point, but that's pretty seismic. I was going to say, Donncha, been so good having you part of our conference the last few years, but every time we do a big Ireland game, Ireland get a pounding, don't they?
It feels like I go into a confessional box or something. Bare your soul.
And then we get you on the Rugby Weekly afterwards and we ask you to lay out the existential issues in Irish rugby. Free kick France, they whack it downfield where the ever-tidy Jamie Osborne takes it. And now it's going to be a real test of this Irish game plan. As Donncha and Chris Ashton have pointed out, they came with a game plan to kick, and they might still do that, but at 12-0, do they have to tweak things? That's a good carry from Joe McCarthy. Wrong end of the pitch, really, from an Irish point of view, but he did make a few metres, and it means that Gibson Park can kick on his terms. A little dink looking for Tommy O'Brien, the right winger. Again, France win those scraps, and they come alive on turnover. Here is Jalibert. How good has he been for Bordeaux this season? He dances and makes a few metres. Great turnover, though. One of the best in the business is Tyg Byrne, and that blue scrum cap of his emerged with the ball.
It's just not where they want it, though, Jonesy.
They wanted a penalty, didn't they? Because France have turned it over. Dupont in broken field. How dangerous is this? He switches with Ramos, his club teammate, and Ramos dinks and dances up to the 22. 12-0 France. 25 minutes gone in the Stade de France. Dupont to the right they go. Jégu drives on. What a game he's having so far, the number 7. So too, this guy's everywhere too, isn't he? Michael Guillard for France wearing number 5. Allez bleu around the stadium as the French forwards drive on, almost just waiting for the moment to pounce and strike, aren't they? Dupont to the left, to his loose forwards once again. Close quarters, in the contact, on the 22. Another big carry coming in by the French centres for that Deporter. They're making bus all the time, these big French forwards. Good offload. Jégu to Olivon. Into the 22. Dupont with front foot ball. Out the back. Oh, it's been dropped by Jalibert. Backwards, said the referee. But if Jalibert had taken that, how much space did he have over on that right side? Still in French position. That ball went backwards from Jalibert. Dupont is sniping and making ground, as is his wont. 15 metres out or so, the French. Almost half an hour gone in Paris. France 12, Ireland 0, the Six Nations opener. Advantage as Ireland pour offside. A gimme 3 for the French, but they'll want to play advantage, won't they? Do Ireland just try and kill the attack? Dupont going backwards and just looking for an opportunity. What's he got up his sleeve? Nothing too much. Penalty. And, well, what do France do here? Chris Ashton. They could scrum in a really dangerous place. They could kick to the corner, they could tap, or Ramos could just say, let's extend this lead.
I'd keep the pressure on. Ramos has stood by the ball, so it looks like he's going to go for the post, but it's France's ability to go from slow ball to quick ball to then creating a try. It's impossible to try and defend at the times. You look like you've got them sussed. They're like, oh, we're comfortable in defence, and then all of a sudden you've got Deporter that 13 just runs over 3 lads, and then you're on front foot. Oh, it's hard for the French. They just can't contain it at the moment. Only for a couple of passes, a pass that went to deck there from Jalibert, you think they were going to score again, France?
Yeah, it is so difficult, Chris, you know it, and especially for front 5 forwards, when you try to bar up in defence and you're nervous about the offload both before and after, and then someone just carries into you and runs you, you know. That's what we're seeing out of this French team. Incredible athletes, and they're bringing it. And I agree with you. I think they're being respectful here kicking this. There's blood in the water here if they put that in the corner or took a scrum.
The one thing I will say with the French team is I don't think they can keep this up. They will tire doing this.
Ramos kicks for 15 now, just expand on that.
Because they're going through so many phases and they're being so physical, it's impossible to keep this up for 80 minutes, I think. There will be a period here where Ireland will have their opportunity. They've just got to make sure they turn it into something.
I'd love to agree with you, but I think this is the closest thing to the French way. The ball in play, keeping it in play, they love it. This is what they grew up with. I think there's a better drive to stay in that, and of course they've an incredible bench to add to it.
It's shades of Dublin last year, isn't it, with those sort of close quarter carries, the likes of Jalonch and Jegu making yards, and then if they can, they get the offload. And this Mikael Gerld's on one tonight, isn't he? His hair sort of blowing in the wind, and he's made a huge number of carries. Dupont, who normally kicks long, this time has kicked contestable. It's pretty good. Bielbiarri, they've got big scraps again, France, so they're winning all those 50-50s. Ireland just can't get the bounce of the ball, and Dupont was under pressure there from tight-head Clarkson. Ball was loose. Well positioned is Jamie Osborne from the French kick, and with that left boot, which has pulled off a few good moments so far, this one is gathered by Ramos, who kicked the penalty for 15-0, and that's a nice kick from the experienced, classy Thomas Ramos, one of the best around at the moment. And it will be an Irish line-out. Donica O'Callaghan on their own 40. They trail by 15 as we edge towards the half-hour mark on 5 Live.
Yeah, and that's probably one of the areas you would have thought this team was picked for. Putting Prendergast in does give you line-out options. They've gone short all the time here, Chris, but they've kicked off an awful lot of them, and to be honest, in this area of the pitch, I don't fault them. I'd have my exit strategy out really far. I'd nearly play till halfway, get out of here.
Well, Caelan Doris is trying to lead from the front. That's another big carry with a run-up from the Ireland skipper. A little ball from back row mate Cian Prendergast. Gibson Park's kick is so high, and again it's really well rated. Who's getting up to take this one? This one is knocked on Bielbiarri, and Ireland have it rather. Much better from Ireland. They won that kicking battle, and then Dan Sheehan in a bit of space, and now they have the ball, and not even the numbers to the right. Tadhg down the short side. He had Josh van der Fleer, but they slightly ran out of space and were marked. But there for Ireland, a good attacking opportunity for the Irish. They need points before half-time. Sam Prendergast, on it goes to the forwards. McCarthy just short of the 22. Therefore, Gibson Park, Sam Prendergast, not too many options, goes inside to his big brother Cian. That was nice, the family connection. Gibson Park to the right, McCarthy, little ball at the back. Prendergast, they move it down the right. McCloskey, that's good power from the Ulsterman, almost up to the 22. 15-0 France, but an Irish score would give them renewed confidence as the kick through from Osborne. Prendergast is onto this. Here goes Sam Prendergast. I think Ramos got there first just. And there's a penalty against Ireland for taking the man without the ball, but half a chance there, Donica. Penalty though to France.
Definitely, absolutely, and I suppose better shape out of Ireland. Sam Prendergast getting his hands on the ball. We know he's an incredible attacking threat, using his brother on inside balls and stuff. Probably the biggest difference though, Chris, is that, you know, it used to be a stat, metres after contact. You see France winning them all the time, so it's the back foot when it comes to retreating rucks. The Irish players here are struggling every time to get over the gain line, but they'll be filled with a bit of hope to have more advantage there and get playing their type of game, especially in that area.
I'm just watching Prendergast and getting around the pitch. He's looking for options, but he's not getting much from the back line. Seemed like they're quite quiet on him, not giving him many options, which is...
Stop. Bring him down. Don't go early.
Just going to reset this line out. It's just why Bundy Aki is a big loss for Ireland, because he's always that get-out ball that if you're struggling for someone to go to, he's your man who'll get you, set you up again, release some forwards, and you can go through your phases. But just then he looked like he was struggling for people who wanted the ball in space.
McCloskey can do that, but maybe it's a sign of a guy who's not played a load of rugby in this team, despite his experience.
Yeah, doing it at this level and having the confidence to command where you want people takes time.
Yeah, and Aki and Henshaw, big focal points to this Irish attack being missed. Oh, and Bielbiarri down the short side almost took it from Dupont. They've not been perfect, France. They've had a few of those where it's not quite gone to hand. A lovely rendition of the Marseillaise, which normally comes about a half an hour into each half here at the Stade de France. Ireland at the line out, just inside the French half. And they've got 8 minutes till the break here, Ireland, to try and get back into this game. They trail by 15.
France are making that short side look like a motorway. You know, honestly, their exploiting of it is quite incredible.
Another good carry from Caelan Doris, halfway line, Gibson Park, waiting to go right, then goes left. What have they got in attack here, Ireland? They work a pattern. Josh van der Fleer with a bit of space, makes a few metres. Is it enough? Is it enough against this French team? They're attacking around the halfway line. Prendergast ball to Byrne. He gets an offload away, which is nice. And Jacob Stockdale has a little bit of space to go into. Actually, Stuart McCloskey, both got a shaved head, McCloskey and Stockdale. And here is Stockdale, who's got a nasty ball in the backfield. And Theo Adesogbi came off his wing to take down his opposite number. But there for Ireland, maybe a bit of broken field down the left. Sam Prendergast can't quite get away. He's a hunted man, isn't he, tonight, Sam Prendergast?
No.
And Ireland work it to the short side. Josh van der Fleer, he then knocks it on. And France have gone quickly, haven't they? Yes, they have. Out to Ramos. They've got numbers here, France, on the left-hand side. Ramos has sensed it. He gives it out to Deporter. Deporter to Moefana. Here's Bielbiarri, who switches and keeps the ball alive with Anthony Jelonch. 10-metre line in Ireland's territory. 7 to go to the break. France 15, Ireland 0 on 5 Live. The opening game of the 2026 Men's Six Nations, as Jalabert kicks for himself. The crowd like that one. He almost got it away. He did get it away to Cross. And now his cross. And this is going to be brilliant. Gaillard, inside it comes. They're going to go in here. France, what a try! Charles Ollivon gets this one. Missed one earlier in the half. Not to be denied. The tricolore fly France are rampant.
So good from France. Jalibert, it's his trademark chip and chase. Breaks open the Irish defence. He didn't manage to fully regather it, he just managed to tap it back enough. And there was enough French players throwing. It was a front rower, I think. That's so good, France. The front rowers are picking balls off the bootlaces and then doing 3-on-1s. Everyone throwing through on the outside. Such good play from France. You knew from 30 metres out they were going to finish it. There's so many options. They decided to go inside, which nobody... Had Benobin on the outside, you know he would have scored it, but they went inside.
Lock to lock. Went from the number 5 to the number 4.
Incredible, and just even keeping the width, Chris, to realise, don't chase in on the ball, especially after Jalabert's kick down the middle of the field. I wonder did he actually mean, to not hold on to the ball there. He knows the spaces, we bust them. Can I get us wide really quickly? This French team look really dangerous, and Ireland, 22 points down.
That shouldn't be turning into a try, should it, Donnacha? That's the thing.
But Chris, just for me, I feel scoreboard pressure. I was saying they should kick to the corner, but now I understand it by Ramos to take those points. Now Ireland are playing from where they probably should be kicking. There's a desperation to them, and that's what we're seeing. The ball easily turned over, and this French team thrive on turnover ball.
This could get ugly, couldn't it, guys? 22-0, 35 minutes gone. And I think you're right. I think Jalabert was trying to catch and offload in one movement. That is a player who is confident and a team that's confident.
Even if he wasn't, let's say he was.
Well, with their tails up, they're going to take some beating this Six Nations France. They lead by 22 points to 0, and Ireland have to find a way back into this Test match. And that little cross kick has been overcooked from Tommy O'Brien, out of play, line out France, halfway line. Ironic jeers from the Stade de France crowd, who are enjoying their night tonight.
It's not like France have played within themselves either. They've really thrown it around. They've offloaded little kicks through. They've done every single thing in the book that you could have in an attack. We're only 35 minutes in, and Ireland just find themselves on their own 10-metre line trying to play all the rugby from there. They've not been able to get out their own half, really.
France again, have they got another score in them? We're hoping Ireland, from a sort of neutral's point of view, but wanting a real contest here. You want Ireland to get on the board, but France may feel they can get another one. And when they're running with the ball, when they're moving it, and the thing is, all their forwards are handling the ball. They're all involved in the loose, aren't they?
That opportunity there is just a backline on backline. There's no pressure on good players. Everybody's got time to get the pass away, time to get the kick away. Andy Farrell knows his defence has got to be on top of the French team. Catch the ball, you need them to get in hit. That's how you need to defend them. Right now, the Irish team are giving the French players just too much time. Just only a split second, but it's enough for them to get their attack flowing.
It's a French line out because the little kick through from Bielbiarri was touched by Tommy O'Brien. So line out France, right below us, 40-metre line. As Marchand with a dart to the tail, beautifully done, Jégu, and now they spin it into midfield, and Moefana flips it on, and France, well, Dupont's playing a fly half now. They are buzzing, the French, aren't they? Jalabert will kick as O'Brien came up. Osborne's scampering across. Deporter's had a good game, and he's right in the grill of Jamie Osborne. He does well. He's a really good player, isn't he, Jamie Osborne? Really composed under proper pressure from 3 or 4 on-rushing Frenchmen. But Ireland are completely in the wrong part of the pitch, aren't they? Trailing by 22 points to 0 with just over 2 minutes left of this first half. And Gibson Park, having kicked contestable all night, I think now might just think it's worth getting it off the pitch and trying just to stem the French flow a little bit, Donica.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's what you're seeing more and more. This French team coming at Ireland and really pressurising them. It's been difficult for this Irish team to get out, and Osborne in the backfield just being able to kind of cover the space. But yeah, I think they'll be glad of the respite, but know that it's coming yet again, Chris.
Line out France, Marchand, Jégu's been everywhere, hasn't he? The number 7 for the French, and they've got a nice looking maul here. Caelan Doris is in and he's sort of thrown to the floor, so he isn't able to stop the momentum. Dan Shin's come through and done pretty well there, so France have to play, and Dupont gets it out to Yoam Moefana, who always makes a few metres, doesn't he? Both French centres have been good tonight, and again this Oscar Jégu comes round the corner and sets it up. This time Ireland have turned it. They've done well at the breakdown, but Dupont came through because the ball was loose, and Prendergast in a spot of bother. Can he get it away? He kind of kicks for Stockdale, but it's picked up by France. Ramos throws a Hail Mary and Jalabert's onto it. Jalabert, he's been in such good form for his club, Bordeaux. He's got to try tonight, and he's been involved in everything, the French number 10. So too is this guy, Michael Guillard, the second row, who set up that try for Olivon. Dupont kicks, and I think even the French forwards are tiring a little bit. It's been a pretty breathless opening half, and Osborne kicks it out. Will we have time for the line-out? Yes, we will, and it'll be a French line-out in between the 22 and the 10. Chris Ashton.
I think both teams are really hoping the referee just blows it up a minute early this half. The French are so tired because they put so much into this first half, and Ireland need to get inside and reset. Any more points here, so they're not going to come back. 22-0, we've seen teams come back from that no matter what situation is, but 29, no chance.
One in the line out by the French. Good contest, said the referee. So Francois Cros then gives it to Louis Bielbière, who's off his wing, and then it's set up by Yoam Moefana. Dupont out to Jean-Baptiste Gros, the loose head prop. Centre field, to the right they come, 30 metres out. Nice kick, Jalabert. It's going to dribble out of play. There won't be time for the line now, though. That will be half-time. And just looking at the body language, Ireland trying to sprint off. France are the ones who are tired. They've had so much ball, they've played so much rugby, it's no surprise. Gibson Park has sprinted down the tunnel, and Ireland need to regroup. And the French fans around us get to their feet. They've enjoyed that first 40. They've scored 3 stunning tries through that man again, Louis Bielbière, his 21st in a France shirt in 23 games. Another Six Nations try, that's 10 in all for the winger, one of the best players in the world at the moment. Also a try for Mathieu Jalabert, and then Charles Olivon finishing an unbelievable bit of play, backs and forwards, interlinking. Ramos has kicked his goals, and at half-time, Sonia, it is France 22, Ireland 0.
And there were we worrying that it was raining and it was too wet and that it might just cause a problem for the French backs. My goodness, how wrong we were. They have been quite brilliant. Chris Ashton, what sort of fitness levels does that demand from France?
Yeah, very, very high. They were always good in short bursts, France, but that was pretty amazing. The level of even catching a kick-off forwards was still fighting to get every metre they could. When you see forwards halfway through a half, they might just catch and soak the tackle up, but not the French team so far tonight. They wanted to fight and get 3 metres out of every single carry. I still think it's not sustainable, so I don't think they can do that for 80 minutes, but like Donica did say, they have got an incredible bench to come on to, so really important that Ireland, I think they've shown some good signs. I do think they are capable of bringing something to this second half, and 22-0 is not the end of the game, is it, Donica?
No, not at all. And I think on it, Sonia, we have to credit Carl Dixon, because he's left the ball play, he's left the game, he's brought great tempo to the game. Even if you look at the time it's taken for that first half to take place, he's got the ball away from the scrum, and he's left both set of players fatigued. We saw it. Gibson Park was the exception, but everyone else nearly waddled over to to get down the tunnel, which is something that had been missing for our game for a little while. It's great to see these players being pushed to actually stay in it and actually perform at a high level.
And just quickly, Sonia,
and maybe if they can't keep it up, then they just bring on Pietro Mavaka and Emmanuel Meafu, and then they just go route Group 1 in the second half, you know, so they've got options, haven't they, France? Just quickly, Donncha, how much did you enjoy the build-up to France's third try? It was sensational, but two big old forwards involved in the last pass.
Yeah, it was fantastic, Sonia, and it's great to see. What we're noticing with this French team is the athlete and the skill set is quite incredible. So if before contact, as we were saying in comms, they're able to make offloads and get the ball away, but if they carry and bring it into you, but look, just the skill set of those front five forwards. Well, to be fair, when you look at when they play with their clubs, they play an awful lot in the back row. France are doing something right though, with just their ability to keep the ball in play, and they're very, very dangerous. You would have always said about French teams, if you could make them rock, well, this French team look like they can do it all.
Yeah, France can do it all at the minute, and they have, haven't they? Because they lead 22-0 against Ireland. They are very much in control at the Stade de France, and we will be right back with the team for second half commentary after the news here on 5 Live with Ryan Dobney.
The voice of the UK.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
The Prime Minister says he's sorry for having believed what he said were Lord Mandelson's lies before giving him the job of ambassador to the US. Sir Keir Starmer said Peter Mandelson had portrayed the convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein as someone he barely knew. The scandal has fuelled speculation about the Prime Minister's future. Well, earlier on 5 Live Drive, the Labour MP for East Hull, Carl Turner, told us he backs the Prime Minister, but the situation is a crisis for the country.
It's a disaster. It's a crisis for Keir Starmer and the Prime Minister. It's a crisis for the country if we lose a Prime Minister potentially over it. I'm hoping that Keir Starmer can get his act together, he can be advised better, and we can move on from this terrible, terrible incident.
In news elsewhere, and Downing Street says the US has now backed the deal for the UK to hand sovereignty of the Chagos Islands to Mauritius, and talks between the two countries are now complete. Well, this comes just as 2 weeks since the US President Donald Trump called the deal a great act of stupidity. A student who died after being stabbed in Leicester city centre yesterday has been named by police as Khalid Oladipo. He was 20 and from London and had been studying cybersecurity at De Montfort University. The US and Russia have agreed to resume regular contact between senior members of their armed forces if this was suspended in 2021 ahead of the invasion of Ukraine. And theme parks, including Alton Towers and Legoland Windsor, are to stop allowing people with conditions such as autism, ADHD and anxiety to use its disability queuing system. The park's owners are bringing it in because waiting times, they say, have increased.
Skis cutting through snow at breathtaking speed. Snowboards spinning in ways never seen before. Skeleton sleds pushing the limits. Making history, breaking records, and taking home gold. Trails will blaze. The Winter Olympics starts tomorrow. Watch on iPlayer. Listen on BBC Sounds.
This is 5 Live Sports, the Six Nations with Sonia McLaughlin.
France very much turning on the razzle-dazzle in Paris. The defending champions leading Ireland 22-0 at half-time in this curtain raiser for this year's Six Nations Championship. We will be back with the team at the Stade de France. But let's turn to tennis. 2 matches, 2 straight-set wins for Great Britain at the Davis Cup in Oslo. Correspondent Russell Fuller has been watching, and we've had victories, Russell, for both Jack Draper and Cam Norrie. So Great Britain in a strong position now.
Yes, and 2 relatively quick wins as well, which means, Sonia, that the Nadderud Arena here in Oslo is virtually empty. Not much for the Norwegian fans to enjoy, other than the return of Jack Draper. First match since August, as you were saying, and it was a very clean match. He looked good in a 6-2, 6-2 win over Viktor Durasovic, although the Norwegian is 313 in the world, so difficult to read too much into the level that Draper is at so early in his comeback. And then Cameron Norrie up against the former junior Wimbledon champion by the name of Nikolai Budkov-Shah. Had to recover from 4-1 down in the second set to complete albeit a straight sets victory, 6-4, 6-4. So Britain in a very strong position overnight. Jack Draper very much the man of the day, and he's been telling me what it felt like finally to be back on a match court.
It's been a long time since I've been able to compete on the match court, and today was a great opportunity to do that. Being here around amazing support staff, obviously it's been a difficult time for me, but I'm glad with the way I came back, and I'm proud of my performance today.
How difficult has it been for you over the last 6 months? You've missed out on some big events since Wimbledon, really. Has it been very, very hard watching other people progress while your career's almost been on hold?
Yeah, I've kind of taken a step back from tennis, in all honesty, in this period. Like, I haven't really been following it too much. It's something I put my whole life into, and so I knew that when this injury came about, like, I had to maybe take a step back and not be so intense with it. And I think that's helped me off the court and to keep on improving on the court as well. Because tennis is a bubble, and sometimes you can get kind of distracted that it's all that matters in life, whereas when you have this kind of injury, you have time out, and I used it wisely, I think, to try and make sure that when I come back to tennis and when my arm is okay, that I'm ready to go all the way again.
And can you play a full schedule now? What are your plans for the next month, or do you have to be a little bit careful with the number of matches that you play?
Definitely have to be just wary of how the injury is progressing. I think I wouldn't be back playing again if me and my team weren't really confident that I can start to build back on the tour again. So definitely have to just be sensible at times. But then again, I'm back and I'm building my tennis, and Australia was the right move not to go there. But to be building back in this way is smart, and I'm lucky I've got good people around me.
And have you also learnt that because of the nature of this injury that there might be periods of discomfort and pain ahead that might temporarily set you back, and you're just going to have to manage that for a while?
We'll see. Like that's the complex thing, and the really difficult thing about this injury is the fact that it's so it behaves so weirdly. And so it's not just like a hamstring strain or something where you're going to be back and it'll be fine in a month. It's one of those things you have to keep on adjusting, keep on building, and let the bone keep on regenerating, because that's what they do. So like I said, I'm confident that I'm on a really good path. I'm winning by being here. I'm winning by practicing and taking each day as it comes. So just proud of the way I'm going about things.
Thanks, Jack Draper. Back to winning ways, 6-2, 6-2 today in his Davis Cup singles. It was interesting, Russell, excuse me, listening to him talking about the bubble, living in the bubble that is tennis. And it's, that's not the first time we've heard a tennis player say that. And then he sort of took a step back from it, learnt to be not so intense. Do you think that ultimately this period will stand him in good stead going forward?
I think he may have learnt quite a lot from that period away, because he was shattered anyway, I think, by Wimbledon, because he'd had such a successful first 6 months last year, winning the Indian Wells title, and then he was the runner-up in Madrid, and then there was everything that's associated with the grass court season, and it was just so intense with virtually no time to switch off. So that's one advantage about having been on the sidelines, and hopefully now he has returned, he'll be able to take a little bit of that with him.
Yeah, so the doubles to come tomorrow, Russell. Now, this is, assuming that if Britain were to win that, then they win the tie. And then what? Because it's ultimately they're aiming for a place in November's 8-team finals, aren't they?
Yeah, that's right. It's best of 5. Julian Cash and Lloyd Glasspool, 2 and 3 in the world. The Wimbledon champions should be too strong for whichever pair is put out by Norway. And then the tie is effectively over. 3 up with 2 to play, and it'll be a case of waiting to see who Great Britain face in the second qualifying round in September ahead of November's 8-team finals. It will be either Ecuador or Australia, but they don't play their tie until Saturday and Sunday.
Excellent. Thanks very much, Russell. Enjoy Norway.
Well, I'm going to enjoy the cold.
Woolly hats. That's the order of the day. Thank you very much. That's our tennis correspondent, Russell Fuller. There's a glitter ball at the Stade de France. The light show, again, at half-time in full swing, and the DJ doing his thing. We will be right back there for the second half. France leading Ireland 22-0. Now, England begin their campaign on Saturday against Wales at the Allianz Stadium in Twickenham. Of course, we'll have full commentary on 5 Live and Sports Extra. Jamie George starts the game as England's skipper. Mauro Itoje is on the bench. He was also captain the last time England hosted Wales in a 16-14 win in 2024. And he's been telling Sarah Orchard that was a real battle that day.
They're physical, they're confrontational, they're competitive. Like, every aspect of the game is a contest, and like it was like ultimately enjoyable because we came out on top of it, but you knew you were in a test match.
How do you control where your emotions are at with England now? And I'm not talking about just you as England, I'm talking about your opposition with what Wales are going through right now, because off the pitch there is an amount of chaos going on, and there's a lot of emotion going on for a lot of those players as well. When you look back to the 10 tries that were scored at the Principality, the year that you guys have had, which was incredible last season, how do you pitch this emotionally correctly when you step onto that pitch?
You try and be aware of what's coming. Obviously you don't know exactly, but you get a good idea of, you know, the emotion that will come with what everyone's going through in the WRU at the minute. Equally, we're very clear on, we're back at Allianz Stadium, it's the first game of the Six Nations. Like, we want to set the tone for like what will hopefully be a very successful tournament for us, and there's also emotion that comes with playing for England, you know, like, and I've spoken quite openly about that with the boys. I've spoken about it in the media. Like, I don't think we should ever shy away from how much it means, and like, you know, I'm not saying it's, you know, our emotion is different to their like, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying, like, you know, I know that their motivations will come from a lot of other factors. Like, our motivation is still very much like trying to be the best team we possibly can be. It's very clear that we're not resting on our laurels. Like, we are pushing, we're trying to get better. We want to be the best team we possibly can be and build and win things along the way. And, you know, that's like that, when you get that appetite and desire to, you know, and it's infectious within a group like that, that's a team you want to be a part of.
And one news line out of the England camp, winger Emmanuel Faye-Reboso, a doubt for that game against Wales, but he finished training today early because of a leg injury. Right, the teams are back in Paris. I wonder, have France got enough in the tank? Chris Jones.
Well, Ireland are out first. Maybe they've had a rocket from Andy Farrell. They trail by 22 points to 0. Now France are out, and the little remote control car stops next to Mathieu Jalibert, and he picks up the match ball. Referee Carl Dixon, who did a really good job in the first half at speeding the game up. I know there were a couple of flashpoints around the tries with forward passes, but they were cleared by the TMO. But Dixon keen to get speed in the game and not to have water carriers coming on, and that contributed to a game that did fly by in that first half. But France lead by 22 points to 0 as Mathieu Jalibert kicks us off from left to right. France in their blue and their white shorts, and Ireland in their green with white shorts. And they take the kick-off to the Irish, and Jamison Gibson Park will clear his lines, hooking it towards the touchline and finding the touchline. And France with the line out just inside the Irish half. Right, Donnchadh Callahan, you're 22-0 down away from home against the champions. How'd you go about it? Next job?
Yeah, exactly. A bit like what we saw from Andy Farrell in the dressing room. There isn't every time you can play it, Chris, but an emotional drive. You know, I think this team is better than probably the result, and you could never question them on character, but at the moment they look like they could be in for a hiding if they don't get on top of themselves and get performing better than they could. And I think he'll be frustrated with maybe the discipline to stay in the kind of game plan that they've set out.
The voice of Ireland legend Donnchadh Callahan. We've also got England Rugby's greatest try scorer Chris Ashton with us in comms as Julien Marchand throws to the tail, where it's taken in well by Anthony Jelonch, and they drive on the French and the backs get involved. But they had to get in there and use it pretty prematurely, the French, because Ireland was spoiling, and Dupont flips it out to the forwards who drive on, this time through Marchand, 10-metre line. He's gobbled up by his opposite number, Dan Sheehan, and then Dupont on the left-hand fringe of the ruck just slips a little bit to take the sting out of the attack. So Jalibert will have to go in and play at scrum half, and the pace of the move taken out. If anyone's going to put pace in it, it's Jegu, and then Jalibert who kicks, and it's dangerous in the backfield for Ireland. Osborne, it's on his left side, and he's got a good left boot, and that's an excellent kick from Osborne, but Jalibert reading the game superbly in the backfield, and he's stepping and going past Osborne, who raced up after his kick. Tadhg Beirne tries to get it, but can't quite manage, and then Dupont finds Atisogbe. He goes inside to his forwards again, who drive up to the 22. Cross playing at scrum half, out to Jegu, the flankers combining. Here's Thomas Ramos. It was Yoram Moefana again down that right-hand side. Dupont waiting to kick with his left, then dummied it. Ramos finds Guillard, who's made so many metres with the ball in hand. Lightning fast ball for Dupont. Out it goes to Ramos, who can play 10. He finds his 10, Jalibert. Lovely hands from Pierre Biarritz to Ramos, who dummies. And if he'd got it inside, Dupont could have been under the sticks. But France looking to add to this 22-0 lead. Dupont to Jalibert. France cooking with gas in the stade.
Push there.
Dupont 10 metres out. To the right he comes again. It's Michael Guillard who's having a stormer in the second row. They're all on the same page here, the French, as one with their crowd who are roaring their team on. 15 metres out, no advantage, and there was a penalty against Ireland, I think, offside. Referee Carl Dixon going back for that. I don't think Ireland have been a penalty all game. They can't get on the right side of Carl Dixon, and now
take out on the ball over there,
France have an assistant, Chris Ashton. They can kick for 25-0, or they can stick this in the corner.
There's no sign of them slowing up right now, France. They just went through double figures, phases.
Just make sure
I reckon everybody in the team touched the ball. Now they're going to go for the corner. Really important time for Ireland, because you can tell France really want to put the nail in the coffin and get the bonus point before 45 minutes.
Thanks, mate. That was good, thanks.
It's an incredible skill set. Chris, you touched on it, just Guillard in attack, just his ability to get hands free and dominate the carry. Unbelievable performance by the second row this evening.
15 metres out, maybe a couple more. One in the line out by Jegu from Marchand's throw. The tricolores fly behind the post that France are attacking towards with this 22-0 lead at home in Paris. But it's been knocked on, and that's good from Ireland. And you can see the body language. This isn't a beaten team yet. They win the scrum and they stop that French maul, because if they get that maul going, the options they have, not just with their maul, but all of those players behind it.
Okay. Here we go.
I think this is the easier stage of the second half, though, this first 10 minutes. You've had,
let's go.
We saw on the screens here, Andy Fowles going at them at half-time. You come out, you know what you need to do for the first 10 minutes. So once we get into the later stages, are they able to keep it up? They've got to take every win that they can, and that is a small one right there. And they defended that really well, Donncha, didn't they?
Yeah, and you can see they celebrated it. In moments like that, Chris, you look to anything. I know it might seem really small, but just a turnover, anything that can change the momentum and help you get out and just start creating a positive moment, because they've had very few in this game.
Fed into the scrum by Gibson Park, out to Prendergast, who's got this big boot, and there's an Irish penalty at the scrum. So that's a positive for Ireland. I wonder if that's their first penalty they've had all game. Just having a look, yeah. France have had 5. That is the first penalty that France have conceded. Ireland have had in 45 minutes of rugby, and it's come at the scrum, and Ireland, having been under the cosh there, can get back into French territory.
Sorry, I tried playing advantage.
Prendergast, Donncha. The trouble is, when you're 22-0 down, you've got to push the bar all the time. He's got to get as many metres on that kick. They've got to take every opportunity that comes in the French territory.
Absolutely, and it's confidence as well. We see him kicking end over end there. We know that he can spiral to touch as well, but he has to nearly tee up. You know, you have to make touch. You have to be sure of this. And I liked how they started the opening few minutes. I know it's not the game you'd like to see played, but I wonder, that kicking battle and getting down the pitch, there's no reward for this Irish team playing so high.
Well, Guillard got up to try and spoil the line out, so Sheehan has to tidy up. It probably was knocked on by France, so Ireland will have the scrum, although that advantage will be over pretty quick.
They should be good from this position here, Alan. They've been here the whole game.
Well, they can't win a contestable. Here goes another one, and that's back in French. But every contestable this game, France have ended up winning. The kicks have been good from Gibson Park, but they're just not winning the ball enough in the air, Ireland. This is now back in French possession. And Dupont, he can kick off his right, he can kick off his left. He chooses his right, and he puts up another box kick, which is dropping for Stockdale and Atisogbe, and they get up again and win the scraps, and now they can attack into some broken defence. It's exactly what France want to do. Win the tap backs, and then get their backs going to work. They've got it through Dupont. He's put a little kick through for Ramos. There's that Toulouse telepathy. He kicks for Bielbiarri. It's sat up for Bielbiarri, who is under the posts. He's got another one, would you believe it? The try-scoring machine at it again. Dupont's kick, Ramos, whether through Axon or design, has kicked it, and it's sat up. The bounce is all going France's way, and they're hammering Ireland in Paris.
The tries from absolutely nothing. They've no right to put that piece of play in there. They're outnumbered 6-1, 6-2. There's only 3 players against 6 Irish defenders. Dupont rolls it over the top. Ramos knows exactly what he's going to do. The bounce is perfect. Ramos just kicks it on, knowing that Bielbiarri will be there or thereabouts to finish it off. Maybe you only need those 3 on the pitch. Don't need anyone else.
It's quite special, isn't it? Ramos there, we saw it earlier with Prendergast putting his boot to the ball, and it doesn't really break out for him, but everything's going their way as well.
Ramos to add the extra 2. He does just that. France 29, Ireland 0. This, just to stress, this game has so often been tight, hasn't it? These have been the 2 best teams in the Six Nations of recent history. They've won 4 titles between them the last 4, but we're seeing 2 sides in going in very different directions at the moment. 29-0, nearly 50 minutes played.
That try at this level shouldn't happen. When you've only got 3 guys on the short side and there's 6 of you in defending, you solve the problem. It shouldn't turn into a try. It is great French attacking rugby, but I still think Ireland could sort that out.
No, you're right, and it's even when it's been less space, Chris, like the blind side, the short side all night, it's like they're exposing it and taking total advantage of this Irish team. And from an Irish point of view, defensive sets, they'll be really frustrated because they haven't made this French team even go into multi-phase. They're scoring off one-off plays.
It doesn't help when they can't, even if they can't catch the ball in the air, they can't win what they call the scraps or the crumbs. It's such a big part of the game since the escorts were removed. And I saw a stat at half-time that of the 11 contestables, France had won 10 of them.
Come out!
And they've won another couple in this half. They lead by 29-0, 49 minutes gone. Ramos under the high ball. He's off, Ramos. He gets past a couple of players. Gibson Park just about gets to him, but he offloads to Deportes. What hands! Jalabert, how did he take that behind him? They are rampant here, the French, and then they knock it on. That would have been... that would have been the try of the tournament before the tournament started, if that had gone to an extra couple of pairs of French hands. But Ramos just walks past Lockman, and then Gibson Park despairingly held him. Deportes having a blinder, he was on hand, and then Jalabert, a ball that so many players would drop, he managed to take it behind him. And then it was just knocked on in the tackle, wasn't it? And Ireland will have the scrum on their own 22. Donnacha O'Callaghan.
The skill set from Ramos there, you can see he wants to give the ball back inside, but the option isn't open for him, and just his ability to offload, get it back inside as Ireland start to ring in the changes after 5 minutes of the second half.
Looks like Crowley's coming on.
We were having a chat at half-time, Donnacha and I, actually. We wondered whether he would bring Crowley on at half-time. I know that's a big blow to Prendergast, but
no, he's
got to make changes, hasn't he? Oh, so Prendergast is staying on. Okay, right.
Maybe
they've got a 6-2 bench. They've not got a load of options with their back replacements.
And they've got to create more in attack. They've got to do something. They've got to try something, and having enough 2-ball players on the pitch will, in hope, give them a bit more of attacking platform, a bit, just test France a little bit more. But oh wow.
Well, okay, right.
Bench coming on.
France have brought on 1 million players at once. Stockdale thought he was going off, and then he was sent back on, Donnacha. So I'm trying to work out who's being 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So has Tommy O'Brien come off?
O'Brien's coming off. Osborne's going to the right wing.
Right. Okay, because Stockdale walked off as if he thought his night was over. Yeah. So something. So it just all feeds into this kind of just this Ireland feeling like they're just not quite there, are they? They trail by 29 points to 0, and worth stressing, the rain is still falling in Paris. Wondered whether that would make this a tight cage attritional affair.
There's still too many backs there, Chris, or is that me?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, he's walking off, but he's still on the pitch. You've got to get off, man. I'm sorry. But
No, can we keep him there?
They're trying everything they can.
You get in trouble for that. No, he is off. It's a good spot, actually. He was walking off the pitch, but there was a time when Ireland did have 8 backs on the field. Right, first receiver is McCloskey. Now Prendergast out to Crowley. Crowley, he's sort of manhandled over on the far touchline. And when you do have a 6-2 bench, this is the risk you run. You don't have so many options to reshuffle your back line. You've got a 9 and you've got one other player.
Okay, use it please now.
And that 9, Gibson Park, will probably go for most of it, as he so often does. He kicks, pops it into the air with a load of height on it. Bielbiarri, can he get under it? Well, even though he didn't claim it, they're still getting the scraps, aren't they, the French? This time it may have ended up in Irish possession, so they have won it back, Ireland. Right, what have they got? Dan Sheehan throws a dummy. He sets it up just inside the French half. Gibson Park to the left. Static Prendergast goes on little Johnny Sexton loop. That's pretty nice from Ireland. Here is Jack Crowley. A bit of space there for Ireland. At last, they got something going with the ball in hand. Practically for the first time tonight. 51 minutes gone. France 29, Ireland 0. That's better. Jack Conan's on. And he's added a bit of dent, but then they've knocked it on. And France will have the scrum, and those cheers are from French players. And trying to get a grip now, Donnachie, of all the French forwards that have changed. They've definitely made some changes in the front row. I think Emmanuel Mafiou has come on at lock as well. What do you got there, Ashley? Whole new front row? Yeah, whole new front row. So on comes Netty, Montagna and Malvaca, the replacement hooker. Moefana is off. He's had a good game. On comes
Meafou's on as well. You can see
Meafou's
size of a mountain in the scrum there.
And he's come on, so I don't know if that means that they've always got the option of moving Olivon back, but I think Olivon has come off because Anthony Gillange is still there at number 8. Right, France scrum, and Antoine Dupont, who he's had a good game, but he's not been regal, and that French scrum goes forward, and off comes Dupont. He tries to get away, and he flips it back inside to Oscar Jegu. They've got penalty advantage. This is the fear, isn't it? When you go to the benches, the French power will be decisive.
Absolutely, and Chris mentioned it. You just even look at the size difference of what they were able to roll on, and you're hoping for Jeremy Loughman there to steady the ship, but just so much power, so much strength, and in the end it is weight that wins out that scrum. You can see he's doing his best there, but he has to go around the corner and try to win that angle, and France, they're just really strong, and I'll be honest, that's ominous, Chris, for that Irish pack, especially as this goes on, because now it could turn into a wrestle,
Over 15.
Well, they brought on a couple of British and Irish Lions in James Ryan and Jack Conan, so they will add their experience as France win the line out at the tail. Ryan is in there making a little bit of a mess of that French maul, but here go France, Malvaca, and then Dupont on the 10-metre line. In goes Hugo Aradou to play at 9, so they brought on basically a whole new tight 5 here, the French. 10-metre line, 29 points to the good, the home side. The tournament
First man got the ball,
holders and favourites. Ireland get a decent turnover. Can they move it into a bit of space? Sheehan, that's a nice hand from Ringrose over to the far side, and Osborne, who's hugging the right touchline. But Ireland have to come up with something, and quick. They've not looked really like breaking down this French defence, and scoring points against the best side has been a massive problem for them over the last 12-18 months. Up to the halfway line they edge, and Gibson Park goes to the skies. Is that one going to be a bit easy for Ramos? It is. Thomas Ramos takes it with an element of glee just outside his 22. And France in complete control here, actually, as Dupont finds Moafou, and you bring your the noise you made there sums up how you feel about Moafou trundling through a few Irishmen.
I'm still slightly rattled that you said Dupont's been okay.
I mean, he's still been very, very good.
He has.
I would say there have been other French players that have outshone him, which I suppose speaks to how good France have been, and the fact that Dupont's been 8 out of 10 and not 10 out of 10. Interception by Atasogbe. How has he got that away to Aradou? But he has, and Aradou was almost in. France looking for yet another score. They've got the bonus point try. They've got their 4. They want a 5th try. And Montaigne finds Jegu. Has it been knocked on by the French? I think it has, yeah. But somehow they got an interception and threw it in. They are offloading, aren't they, the French? They've offloaded the ball 12 times to Ireland's 2. That speaks volumes. Ireland just whack it out of touch. That'll be knock-on advantage, won't it? So it's going to be a French line out in between the 22 and the 10, Donnachie.
It's really hard to put your finger on it, Chris. There's just such a gulf in so many of the areas, and one of them is the skill set. It's just quite incredible by this French team to keep the ball alive. I suppose this Irish team would pride themselves on being a threat over the ball. We're used to the likes of Josh van der Fleer and Tyke Byrne being good over it. They're not getting an opportunity tonight because this French team are more than willing to run over them or keep it alive.
Well, they make a mistake at the line out there, France. Did they dummy throw or something? Yeah, so it's going to be a scrum to Ireland over on the far side. But it's one of those test matches, isn't it, guys? I don't know if you've played in them either from a winning or losing position, but 55 in, France, I think France know they've won the game.
Yeah.
After 55 minutes of a Six Nations match.
It was a lovely ball.
I've been there down in New Zealand asking the ref, Wayne Barnes, what's left, ref?
And he's like,
10, we're only 10 minutes in.
He was there 23 minutes. Any chance he could blow it up early, sir, please?
You've been working
this is the thing. It's like,
I think we were always going to get this period because France did so well first half. But the danger is for Ireland that they will kick on in a minute, France. When it gets to 60-65 minutes, they're going to have a period of 5 minutes where they're just going to come up with stuff. We're going to, how have they done that?
And the concern for Ireland is this becomes another damaging day at the office to sort of add to the France game last year, to add to the South Africa game in the autumn. You know, Ireland come back in, they win the final half hour. That's something to cling on to ahead of next week. If France dominate this final half hour as a Mexican wave around the stade, and I'm still hardly seeing any Ireland fans in here. Maybe that's a consequence of the Thursday night, or maybe they're just not making any noise, understandably so.
French authorities went, we'll put one of you up there, one over there, one over there.
Well, it's been a fun evening if you're French, as Gibson Park centred out. That's a decent bus, McCloskey, and now Gibson Park, but then he's caught by Dupont, who comes through, and that was the thing, they turned it over France, so Ireland made a good carry, but they did nothing after it, did they, in terms of their phase play. France have turned it over, Dupont spins it out the back, flipped on, Bielbiarri's on a hat-trick, and that's been knocked on badly in midfield by Deporter. That's a rare mistake from the outside centre, and Ireland have it, so it's got a bit scrappy as Gibson Park throws a dummy. Can Ireland score next to give themselves some heart and confidence? They work a short side, that's all right. Stockdale wearing number 11 there for Gibson Park, deep to Prendergast, who waited to kick and then gave it to a kind of loitering Irish forward in the centre of the field, and this is where old Ireland would have so many options and so much up their sleeve, and that's a good ball from Sam Prendergast over to Jacob Stockdale, who's into the 22, a rare 22 entry from the men in green, who trail by 29 points to nil near the hour mark on 5 live at the Stade de France.
You're holding him in. You're actually holding him.
Gibson Park wants a quick ball, he doesn't get it, but he does send it to the left. Jack Crowley's kicked through. Atasogbe has to go up and tidy up. Crowley comes forward to make the tackle on the French winger, but Atasogbe, I think, has tidied it up, even though France are in a horrible part of the pitch from their point of view, 2 or 3 metres from their own line, right in the corner. But they have the lead, and I was going to say they had the ball, but then they hold on, and Ireland get a penalty, and a try here, Donnachie O'Callaghan, feels a total non-negotiable with their penalty 5 metres out. They've tapped and gone. Prendergast, Conan got it away. Ringrose is going to pick up the loose ball, and then he's tackled, Gary Ringrose, and the move might just break down there for Gibson Park. Then Clarkson drives on, no arms tackle, so another Irish penalty. They tapped and wait. I wonder if they're going to just scrummed or something, or gone for the corner. Prendergast, that's lovely play from Sam Prendergast. Then they got the offload in, and they are going to score through Nick Timoney. Right, they're on the board. Ireland are on the board near the hour mark. Nick Timoney scores, and that's what Sam Prendergast can do. A tough night at the office for him, but he has made some half breaks with a good array of passing, and Nick Timoney has scored, and Ireland, 59 minutes in, have their first points.
Yeah, vital score, and coming at a critical time, Chris. Oh, here we go, we're going to have a look, I think.
I didn't see anything wrong with it, did you?
No, I think he's stopping it for the injured player. Sorry, apologies. Yeah, but Chris, I do agree with you. Ireland's ability to get ready for attack, normally we see them loading up. It's been very sluggish, very slow. It's so easy to read for this French team. It doesn't look any bit urgent to realign, to get into shape, and that's what we were so used to this Irish team. It always felt like a bit of a machine in terms of they knew the next play or what they were going to try to do. It's quite slow and not moving to the pace. Of course, a great score there, but I think that's just individuals making big moments as opposed to a shape and a strategy, which seems to be missing tonight.
Sam Prendergast is such a good attacking player. Sometimes I feel like his heart, nobody knows what he's going to do. And when you're outside him or inside him or forward waiting for the ball, it's really hard to read. He's even going for a cross kick, and if he doesn't do that, he then wants you to carry. You're always on the back foot, but you don't know how it's going to flow all the time. He pulls a bit of skill out there. He literally stops the game and finds a pass through a gap, which is amazing. But for the players around him, it can be hard to read.
It's so different to the old Ireland/Leinster way, though, isn't it? Where everyone is on the same page and they all seem to be part of this attacking machine with options everywhere. So you do wonder if there's going to have to be a sort of big stylistic change at Ireland, given what's happened at Leinster as well. One for us to ponder on the pod, which we'll be doing on the whistle. Ireland just starting to get a few breaks here. A deliberate knock-on by France. So it could even be a yellow card. Ireland now just playing with that little bit of a spring in their step. They get another penalty.
I don't know if it was deliberate, this.
Okay.
He went for the pass.
Okay.
Well, this is where...
Just take our time.
We'll listen into the refs.
It's nine has knocked the ball on deliberately.
Yeah.
Okay. And never realistic.
Expectation of him catching the ball.
Yeah.
But do we have a defender for a line break opportunity?
We need to check that, mate. I'm not sure.
Okay.
TMO is saying...
Okay, so we've got information that there's defenders in the background, so it's just a penalty.
I think it's clean breaks down the edge.
The information I have is the fact that there's defenders in the background.
Well, Caelan Doris, you may have heard him say, well, if it's a deliberate knock-on, there's a clean break down the edges, and Ireland would have got through without Dupont's intervention. He's maybe lucky not to get yellow carded there, Dupont, but it wasn't in a part of the pitch that was hugely dangerous round about the halfway. That's a great kick from Prendergast. So suddenly Ireland just, the last few minutes, Donncha, something to cling on to.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's good play. Just looking back at this, does he go for that ball?
I think he's lucky. I think he might be lucky.
Rather than a yellow card, I'd take a penalty try.
Right, from halfway. Okay, big opportunity for Ireland. What can they do? 29-7. One in the line-up by Ty Byrne. Dan Sheehan on the money with his throw. Now he gets to the tail of the maul. One stoppage, says Carl Dixon. Heave is the cry from the French crowd. They want to stop this maul at source through the French. McCloskey's getting way more into the game now, wearing number 12, the Ulsterman. That's decent now from Ireland as they pour around the corner. They're up to the line, almost stretching to score was Clarkson. James Ryan is a metre or two short. Advantage being played. There are numbers to the left. Plenty of options for Ireland. They just got to keep their discipline and their composure here. They're up to the line, they're over the line. They've got another try. Try given by Carl Dixon. Well, what a response from Ireland at 29-0. They look to be staring down the barrel of a humiliation. But they've scored 14 quick-fire points because Prendergast will knock this over with his eyes closed. And Ireland have cut the deficit almost in half in just a couple of minutes.
Could be like Liverpool and Istanbul, lads. Here we go.
Well, the miracle at Paris. You heard it here first. There's, are they waiting for
time
something?
Off.
Yeah, time off, says referee Dixon. You imagine Prendergast wanted to kick it and keep going.
I just want to wait. Time's off. Just keep time off. Tempo, if you need more time, just let me know and I'm happy to come out.
I thought he did ask the Irish players, did they score?
Did he? Right, okay.
They all said yeah and ran off.
No, they're checking now.
This is the first time we've seen the TMO. Every other time they've not shown anything on screen, they've just done it in the background, which
So
is great.
Tempo, coming up to you, had the ball on the ground. So on for decision is try, just need to make sure that he hasn't lost it forward.
Okay, Dicko, on-field decision is try.
Yeah, I've got the offside.
What do we think?
Looks like he might have dropped it.
Can't really. Whoa!
It looks like it's in his hand and then falls backwards.
It's Michael Milne, the replacement loosehead.
Dicko, last angle, I'm coming back to you now.
Oh, that's okay, isn't it? I think that's fine.
Oh, I don't think that's okay.
What do you think? What do you think, Donncha?
So nothing clear to overturn that one for a decision. Okay, so I have a decision. The decision is on field try. Try scored.
Yeah, he's given it because the decision was on field, and he did kind of. I still think there was pressure down. It's whether he lost control. Officials happy, 29-14, Donnachie.
I can see why they had a look at it though. You just see that left arm does pop a little bit more. Look, I'll be honest with you, the way this game is going, I'm kind of glad we're not seeing more TMOs. Of course, it's great when the bunks in with the correct decision, but I do think that one was worth a look, and maybe if we saw it from another few angles and the scoreline wasn't what it was, they could be looking harder at it.
Yeah, that's something Ireland will feel aggrieved about, an early French try that may have had a forward pass, and maybe it's one of those that evens itself out. 29-14 as Nucci comes on for cross in the back row for France. France were coasting, they were almost getting a bit casual, and then Ireland, a switch has been flicked, and they are, if not back in this game, they're a score away from doing so. Gibson Park's kick, Atasogbe doesn't claim it, then he does, real mess there. And I think France have got it after the ball went around like a pinball machine. 17 minutes to go on 5 Live. 15 points the gap. 29-14 to France as Miafu flips it on, carried in centre field by the French forwards. Therefore, Antoine Dupont. He comes to the left. Miafu is the dummy runner this time. As the referee plays advantage, Jalibert's stepping and he gets it away beautifully. And Bielbiarri on a hat-trick down the left touchline into the 22. Goes the French flyer. Then the ball is spat out of the ruck, and Pietro Malvaca sets it up just short of the 22.
Now going again.
What's Dupont plotting? He comes to the right. Nice ball out the back. Jalibert, Thomas Ramos just manages to escape the onrushing Irish defence. Release. The Ireland players think they should have a holding on penalty. Well, if they haven't got the holding on penalty, they've got a clean turnover. Gibson Park out to Crowley. Crowley finds his forwards on this left touchline. Then Gibson Park comes back to Sam Prendergast. Into midfield, Gibson Park scampers to the ruck and then sends up a big old box kick. That one's gone a little bit too far. Atasogbe takes that at a canter.
They just have to be contestable, and they haven't been all evening.
Ball's not available. Now it's available. Use it.
So France have it through Dupont. And Lenny Nucci in his black scrum cap with one of the 6 forwards on the French bench. L'air le bleu is the cry from the capacity. Packed out Stade de France. The rain continues to fall in Saint-Denis.
I got nothing.
The ball was then kicked and it did go out of play eventually. Referee assistant Angus Gardner on this near side. Did it go out on the full? If it did, that's an Ireland line out all the way back. Yeah, it is. And you can see they're down there. Aled Walters urging the team to sort of keep their energy levels up because they've scored 14 unanswered points and now they've got some field position.
At what point does Gauthier look to get Dupont off this pitch? There's a lot of big games coming up. They've got an unbelievable player in Baptiste Saran on the bench, still coming back from an ACL.
Well, Jack Conan won the line out and Sam Prendergast then puts up a towering Garriott, which is so well located. I think it was just on the edge of the 22, but France have got it. Oh, and they might be out of play here. Nucci had Bielbiarri lurking behind him, but he sets it up and takes the ball into contact. Out the back, France goes. Jalibert, wide ball. Atasogbe's in a bit of space here, Ashi. Will he kick for himself? Or he tries to stand up Stockdale, he does well. Does well there, Stockdale. He didn't buy the dummy kick and then managed to tackle his opposite number into touch. And Ireland will have the line out around the 10-metre line.
It's an easy win there. Put it long at the touchline. Pressure back in Ireland. Definitely more fight in Ireland. At the stage in the first half, they were half beaten on breaks and stuff, and lads are walking sometimes. But the 2 tries have definitely helped their energy and just their focus on finishing this game well.
Yeah, we've definitely seen more from the likes of Stockdale coming into the game, McCluskey and Jack Conan making a big impression.
Yeah, another line-out claim from Conan, and then Prendergast's kick. Is that gone a little bit too far? Or Ringrose went up with one hand to try and disturb Ramos, but he took it with a high degree of composure right under his crossbar.
It's got to be a clean catch for a mark, isn't it?
Ramos did take it cleanly, didn't he?
No.
Fumbled it. Oh yeah, you can take it on the second attempt for a mark. And he clears the... It's still a good line-out position, this, Donncha. 22 just outside.
Yeah, and they'll certainly, hopefully have some sort of a play that they can use as a launch for this one, because, Chris, I'll be honest with you, for the performance, but, like, you know, if you were to get 2 more tries here, you come away with a bonus point, which we probably wouldn't have even thought of 5 minutes ago.
Well, two tries, they get two bonus points. As Kelleher throws, and then it's eventually into the possession of Doris over the top. Didn't quite go to hand. Oh, they got numbers down the left, have they? No, France have managed to regroup, but Ty Byrne, he's got Ronan Kelleher, who's on a hooker and has thrown into the last few line-outs. There's a little bit more, I wouldn't say it's nerves in the crowd, but the tiniest amount of anxiety because of those 2 converted tries, and that'll be a pressure reliever from France, because Ireland knocked it on. Frustration from the Irish. France will have the scrum, Chris Ashton, just inside their own 22. How long left? Just over 12 minutes. France 29, Ireland 14.
Okay, I'm on this side.
They're making the best out of this period, definitely. France, we knew they were going to get it, but we just thought by the time France got to 29, there was never going to be a real serious opportunity. But they're making this is what we expect. This is what we expect to see from Ireland. It might not be perfect, but the fight, that's what you want to see. The staying in the game, being in every contest. That's all every fan and coach wants to see.
Yeah, absolutely. And to be fair, under Andy Farrell, you could never question them on that. And I think that when you go back to the autumn, it was quite one of the remarkable things about this team. They do keep going. They will find a way to claw, to fight for every point. And tonight, it hasn't gone their way, but they're still managing to actually stay in it.
Bind!
Probably at the point where if they are going to pull off something miraculous, and it would be a miracle to come from 29-0 down where they've barely fired a shot and France have been rampant. They would need to score very, very soon, wouldn't they? Because it's 3 scores in 10.5 minutes. They have got the territory, even though France have the possession. And that's an interesting point you make, Chris Ashton, about Antoine Dupont. They're 3 games back-to-back in the Six Nations. Coaches have made the point that they might have to bring some players on earlier.
It's madness. It's madness. There's so many important games for France, and he does this, Gauthier, sometimes. He gets so fixated because Ireland have come back into this game slightly and they'll be nervous, but Sirhan is such a good player. He plays amazingly well for Toulon every week. You've got to give him. He deserves more than 12 minutes, I think, in this game. And it's something that Steve Borthwick has definitely, I don't want to say got better at, it's the wrong description, but just allowing players to be more in the game. 30 minutes, 35 minutes. They're international players, give them the game time.
Well, it's a real knack, isn't it, for a head coach to get that right. You want to leave your best players on, but you want to manage them. You could bring on some replacements. They could work, it could not work. It's what you're judged on.
I think your point is right, Chris. This is a Six Nations like no other. Before the break week, you know, you're going to need him deep into the competition.
Well, that's part of the reason he's staying on, because he gathered that from the back of the scrum and just dribbled it through, and he made 40-odd metres, and it's turned Ireland around. And now we're getting to the point where it'll be too much, because 3 scores in 10 minutes, verging on the impossible.
It's just a bit of skill that we are taking for granted right now, but there's no player that picks the ball up from the back of that scrum and casually rolls it
with that type of kick
under head height, rolls it 40 metres.
Yeah, genius from Dupont. Now McCloskey, Sam Prendergast out the back, Stockdale's off his wing, and a lovely pass to Osborne, who didn't have to break his stride. Better from Ireland, little glimpses with the ball in hand. We've barely seen it all day in 70 minutes of rugby. Sam Prendergast out, he sends it to Nick Timoney, who scored that try to get Ireland going.
Offside.
And they've got a penalty as
penalty advantage.
Emmanuel Maffou, one of the cohort of French players, to make a big tackle. Prendergast kicks for himself, almost gathers doesn't, but referee Carl Dixon was playing advantage. France are offside, Ireland get the pen, and like before, Donncha, Prendergast's got to go right for the corner flag.
Yeah, you're right. He needs to get every inch out of this. Chris, it's your point earlier on, though, that multi-phase attack that we're so used to seeing from this Irish team. It feels like they can get to width, and they probably can get to half the pitch, but it's not organised. And for me, I do put that on your 10. I know people call them kind of generals, but you need to boss the shape outside you. You need to be barking at your 12 to get in shape. You need to be talking to your full-backs. And look, we know Sam Prendergast is involving and coming into the play, but he's got to demand more of the players around him.
And just like in the first half, after 30 minutes of the half, the Marseillaise sung with enthusiasm by the crowd here. Ireland, nice little move from the line out. Gibson Park 22. Jack Conan has been good since he's come off the bench. Now Gibson Park sniping around the edge of the ruck. That's good. Tyke Byrne picks and drives. They're not a million miles away here, Ireland. Captain Doris. Out it comes Conan again. Good carry from the Lion. Finlay Bealham, another man who toured with the Lions in the summer. Most of this Irish team did. Tyke Byrne out to Doris. Doris to within 5. They pick and go around the corner once more. Bealham again in there, as is Conan. Bealham is going to play a dummy half, and he gets it out to Jack Conan. Right under the crossbar. Ireland, who have scored 14 unanswered points, trail by 29-14, but another score will take them into the 20s potentially. The ball spat out, but referee happy, nothing untowards went on. 3 metres out, Ireland. Can they break down the French door? Conan, if anyone's going to do it, it's probably him. Big tackle though coming in on the fringes. Gibson Park has to go in and ruck. They pick and drive again around the corner. Do the Irish. They're honey-potted around that ruck. How many metres out are they here? Only a couple, really.
No, he's trying to wrap.
16 phases. Byrne at the back of this ruck. Options left and right. He goes to the right and finds Doris. Doris is under the crossbar. Then the ball comes loose. Hold on a minute. The ball came loose, and then France passed the ball to Ireland. Oh, it was a knock-on, you'd think. But if the ball has been stripped, this is the weirdest thing. Let's listen in to the officials.
Yeah, me too. I had players in front of me, so we need to check whether the ball spilled out and went forward. So I think that's the safest thing to do.
Yeah, on-field decision, no on-field decision.
Yeah, we're not sure.
Okay, tempo. Tempo.
So the ball came loose, and everyone thought it was on a knock-on. So the French player just chucked it to an Ireland player who scored.
And then whether the
But
green
no Ireland player celebrated or anything. It'd be remarkable if this is a try, but you never know. Sometimes this happens, that the ball comes loose without it being a knock-on.
It's not often you hear a referee saying, I have no idea what's just happened.
And then he goes to his mate and he goes, I've got no idea what's happened either.
I like it though.
Because if this could come off French, but that's gone forward, has it, from Doris?
So Dicko, I have a knock on green.
Yeah.
I'm just making sure there's arms in the tackle by blue 16.
Yeah, television match official Ian Tempest, you can hear there. So Caelan Doris sets it up, then.
So we're going to knock on by green first.
Yeah, a knock on by Doris, definitely. But they're just checking whether the Malvaca tackle was legal or not. And then it's a bizarre sequence of events after that. There's probably no arms in that. That could be a penalty to Ireland.
So, for me, the arm comes and gets blocked. So, tempo, we have a decision on field. All we've got is a knock-on by green. We've got 16 who's making a legal tackle, so it's just a scrum for a knock-on. Thank you.
Okay, no try. Scrum France, knock on Ireland. Oh, close, Donica, close to another one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Head on head before that on our tight end.
I haven't seen anything that. We had a look at an arm tackle, there's nothing clear.
It will be a frustration though, Chris. That kind of groundwork, that kind of presenting the ball player, that is something that, you know, Joe Schmidt used to chat about, the 60% man being able to present the ball. You just see moments like that. You're 3 meters out, you have a real opportunity to get back in the game here. Caelan Doris getting belly up and losing the ball. It's just, it's poor, you know.
7 minutes to go in the Stade. France 29, Ireland 14. We'll be at the Allianz Stadium in Twickenham on Saturday afternoon. A 4:40 kickoff. And of course the best football coverage across the football leagues with Mark Chapman from midday on Saturday. And coverage as well on Sports Extra of Scotland's trip to Italy as Antoine Dupont belts the ball downfield. He makes 50-odd metres, and that will probably be that. Any hopes of Ireland taking this down to the wire have probably gone now because
that's
the clock is ticking, and finally Fabien Galtier has listened to Chris Ashton, and Dupont comes off.
He turned pretty regal in that second half, didn't he?
Thank you.
Well, his game picked up.
Yeah, since you said it.
Yeah, well, just to be clear, I wasn't saying he was playing badly. There were other French players stealing the show.
Consistent level.
Oh, but the excellence with the way he gets out of trouble, and his kicking game is always so good, isn't it? So it means he always puts out a 7 or 8 out of 10 performance, even if he's not been spectacular. Stockdale, who's starting to get a lot more on the ball coming off the left wing, probably not got the express pace to scythe through, but certainly Ireland have played better in the second half. The concern is that the game has long been done. 5 and a bit minutes left of this game. France 29, Ireland 14. Have the French got one more score to send their fans happy into the Parisian night?
That's nice.
As Jalabert just casually dinks it towards the 22. The kick very well judged, perfectly weighted, and Ireland have turned around and they've got to throw into their line out. Donnchadh or Callaghan 20 metres from their own line.
It's a dream though if you're a French forward there, Jalabert just looking after you, keeping you going forward with just an outstanding kick. And I agree, Chris. I think it's been better from this Irish team, but I do query whether this French team has kind of pulled up the handbrake a little bit. They've everything they need out of it. We don't see that kind of pace and intensity that we saw in the first half. You were right, Chris. You were saying that they wouldn't be able to keep it going. I don't know that they want to.
Okay.
Oh, that's a good contest at the line out. You heard referee Dixon say that, and it's been won by France, and they stormed through Lenny Nucci. Oh, it's still going. Look at this carry from the French 5 metres out. What a power play from the French forwards. Serran digs for the ball. Out it goes to Jalabert. Jalabert almost through. Deporter. He's up to the line. He's held up. That'll be a goal line. Right, France very nearly finishing with a flourish, but Ireland doing well. So many options though for France when their forwards carry. It's then who do they go to? They go to Jalabert. They go to the centres. They've got the forwards who can all play. And regardless of the fact that they've slightly petered out in terms of their performance, France, credit to Ireland, there's still been a big statement to the rest of the Six Nations as Biel Biarri finds Anthony Gelonche, who carries up to the 22. Now France know the game is done. Maybe they'll approach the last few minutes with a bit of abandon. Miafu, lovely hand. Jalabert, that is brilliant. Deporter, Gorges, he's 5 minutes out. Ramos onto the ball. He tried to get the offload away. Just a tiny bit too much ambition for France, but that was brilliant. The hands, the transference of the ball, so slick, so smooth, and very nearly in for another try, France.
It's Miafu. Because he's so big, he can hold up the defensive line longer because he knows he gets hit and be able to ride a tackle one-on-one. So he just stands when he gets the ball and just... It's definitely a France ball, as we can hear the crowd still think it is. Their ball.
They think the louder the whistle.
He's going to check
it. The louder they whistle.
It's worked.
That was 80,000 people going, keep whistling, he'll check it.
Oh no, his comms are gone.
Oh, his comms have gone.
I can't hear the TMO. Time off.
Maybe Ian Tempest was coming in.
Just repeat tempo.
Well, we can't hear the TMO over the din. Well, listen to this. This is a partisan crowd who feel that they've not got that decision going their way. Oh, the fans didn't like that one bit. Casey, who's on at scrum half, he kicks off his left boot. Through comes out of Sogby, doesn't claim it, then the ball dribbles out of touch. That might be an Ireland ball because it could have come off the hands of Teo Atasogbe.
No, green ball.
Green ball is the call from Carl Dixon.
Oh no, sorry, blue ball.
Yeah, blue ball. No, he's gone back to blue ball. France is
this one's blue. This one is green ball.
I think they got both. What?
We've been getting them all, so just give it to us.
Well, it's just a sign, I suppose, of how yes, Ireland have come back and done really well to get those 2 tries, but at 29-0, the game was kind of over, and it has petered out a touch as a result.
Yeah.
Can France get one more score? Serran into midfield. Jalabert, who's going 80. Gorges out the back. That was loose. Just breaking down a bit from France, maybe a consequence of all these replacements. They played such slick rugby at times.
Timing was okay. Timing's okay.
Jalabert this time is kicking, looking for a 50-22, but Actually, the ball was passed back in by France. Referee Carl Dixon pretty clear there. So it will be an Ireland line out. There's some afters over there. James Ryan is involved. Often is in the physical stuff, Ryan. And the crowd have really come alive in the last few minutes at the suggestion of a couple of decisions not going their way. Well, they're showing a replay of Ryan on Jalabert. And some fans next to us are off their feet, and they are. I think livid doesn't do it justice. They're incandescent. I think the referee saw it at the time and said the timing was okay.
No.
I think they're Bordeaux fans and realise how important he is.
And they've got a Champions Cup to defend, haven't they, Bordeaux? And they've been pretty amazing so far in the competition. Yeah, what a season Jalabert's having. Ronan Kelleher throws into the line-out where it's taken by Conan, who's done loads of good work in the line-out, Jack Conan. They're kind of running it from their own 5. That's a really nice bit of play from Ireland, who go bursting through Gary Ringrose. He gets the offload away to Prendergast. Ran it from their own 5 there, Ireland. Then France come over the top to turn the ball over. Do they manage it? Yes, they do. Serran kicks. Gibson Park's ending up on the wing here, isn't he? And he's lost it in the backfield. He's got a kick, and he hooks it clear. Pretty good wing work in the end from Gibson Park. What a footballer he is. And with a minute and 10 seconds to go, France will have the line out in between the 22 and the 10. Donnacha O'Callaghan.
Yeah, it's been an incredible night. I think we've seen this French team really evolve, playing an all-court game, as we'd call it, Chris. They're able in the kicking game, they're brilliant. And I know people will say they won the scraps and maybe the bunks went their way. I don't feel that. I think their selection was right. They picked guys, and we all questioned leaving out Penno. Well, now you know why, because they win those type of aerial battles. But looking at them here mauling, this French team look like they can push on, and I do think they pulled up the handbrake at 29-0. I know we got back into the game a little bit, but I think it was more so the fact that they knew this game was over.
Well, Serran is sniping, and he's trying to go round Gibson Park, and he's only 10-12 metres out, the French number 9. Now they've got numbers to the right. Here is Jalabert, inside he goes, 29-14. One more score would be the icing on the French cake.
They're desperate for a try.
They do. They want to send these fans off into the night jubilant. They're happy enough already.
Pulled away. You pulled away.
Serran, Jégu, lovely hands. Ramos Mafi. That's brilliant. Jalabert. Atesogbe's in at the corner. Yes, he is. What a way for France to finish. What a statement to the rest of the Six Nations from Les Bleus.
You just feel it was coming. Last few minutes there, after the crowd were whistling, they wanted to finish this game on a high. And the whole French team that have lifted the past 90 seconds know the crowd wants something out of this game. They've just disappeared for the past 20 minutes, and then just to make the scoreboard feel right, just got in at the corner.
You're right, that's exactly what it was. It's like they dropped down to second gear for a bit of time, and any time this French team need to, they can put in moments like this. And Ramos, not helped by half his team being in front of him, is lining up the kick.
They know we'll kick it anyway, that's the problem, Donnacha.
Well, look at the French fans here. They had some great days in the Stade de France. They might have a few more this championship. Ramos from the right touchline, what a kick, what a way to finish. France 36, Ireland 14. The full-time whistle blown by Carl Dixon. The fireworks and flames and smoke into the Parisian air. The tricolores fly, and France have got up and running, and how, in this Six Nations. For the most part today, they've taken Ireland to the cleaners, Donnacha. Ireland had a really good spell where there was just the tiniest hint of the impossible. But then when France turned it on at the end, another try, and a handsome win for France by 36 points to 14.
Yeah, from an Irish point of view, the way that first half went, Chris, you're nearly glad with this result, because like I said, you kind of felt that France pulled up the handbrake a little bit. If they were ruthless here tonight, if they'd stayed on that type of game they were playing in the first half, I think they could have really upset this Irish team. They could have put quite a score on them, and Look, this Irish team, they fought and they stayed in it, but I just think there's a gulf in class, there's a gulf in athlete, and there's a gulf in game plan as well. The Irish game plan in attack, I know we're chatting about certain players, but that multi-phase is gone.
Yeah. And it's the same conversations we've had the last few times we've done games. Ireland's attacking game, the physical stakes, being outpowered, being outmanoeuvred. But this is France's night, and the times they played some rugby we'll all really cherish having watched.
Absolutely, and it's the beauty of our game. If you show a weakness at international level, teams are going to bring it. But I think something's different about this French team. I think the type of athletes they're picking, I think that ability to win the kind of aerial game, and I know we chat about a crumbing or looking for scraps on the ground. They're all over it, and they're coaching it, and they're working on it, and they're miles ahead. Plus, there's a stat in the game that everyone competes on, max meters after contacts. If you looked at it for these French front five, it will be through the roof tomorrow. Their ability to win the back end of the tackle has been incredible.
Yeah, looking at the stats, we got offloads. France, 20 times they've offloaded, Ashley. 20 times to Ireland 6.
Because they're able to win the big one-on-one. There's such big men, a lot of the forwards, and they're really comfortable with ball in hand. They're not catching it and looking for contact or looking to how they can get to the next phase. They're looking all the time to how we can create and make tries.
Well, it's party time in here, Sonia. Shades of the title win last year and the Grand Slam win of 4 years ago. On this form, they'll be back here in March playing England for a slam. What happens to Ireland going forward, how England go, where Scotland are at, Wales and Italy, that's all to be decided. But they've laid down a marker here tonight, the French, haven't they? 5 tries, 36 points, and they've won with a bit to spare. France 36, Ireland 14.
Yeah, the defending champions up and running, finishing with a flourish. They're scoring 5 tries to beat Ireland, 36 points to 14. And if you're looking for potential champions of 2026, then you're going to have to go you don't have to go a long way to see past France, do you? They looked in ominous form this evening. Chris Ashton, how do we judge France on that game, given that they did go walkabout for about 20 minutes?
Yeah, they've had this in them recently. They did it in the autumn a little bit, good in patches, bad in patches. I think if you are in a position to challenge France, that's something that you've got to keep in mind, that it might be a way to beat them. If you can stay with them when they are flying for those 30 minutes, keep it tight, don't let them score points and just keep them to a minimum. There will be times when you get chances like Ireland did to come back and score, but when you score you've got to be in the game at that point.
Yeah, and Chris Jones, Fabien Galtie's selection fully justified on that performance, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, there may have been a couple of times where Damien Penaud would have scored a chance that Atsogbe had, but then the point Donica made about the aerial game, all of those contestable kicks were won by France. They were often good kicks by Ireland, but all ended up in French possession. And when France get broken field, they are lethal. It looks like Michael Guillard has won man of the match. The second row was outstanding. And there are players from France, Sonia, announcing themselves. You know, Oscar Jégu, age 22. What a player he looks. I think this is one of Jalibert's best moments in a French shirt. The centres went really well. It was only a few years ago you couldn't get Gaël Fickou and Jonathan Danty out of the French centre jerseys. Now it's all about Yoram Moefana and Nicolas Deporter. So, yeah, France didn't play for 80. They went missing a bit, and real credit to Ireland for making the scoreboard respectable in the end. But when you're 29-0 down, the game is done, isn't it? France doing a lap of honour, Ireland looking pretty rejected. Big time now for Andy Farrell to regroup this squad and see what they can do in their remaining 4 matches. But yeah, what a statement from the French.
And Donica, we'll talk about Ireland in a second, but you know, Fabien Galtier, with France performing in that way, he's kind of done the right thing by having one eye on the next Rugby World Cup, hasn't he?
Yeah, he absolutely has. You could not fault his selection tonight. When you looked at the kicking game, Chris mentioned it there, you can easily see it's coached. It's something they're working on. They win those back-end battles of it. And also the skill set. The skill set is really high. They look so aligned. Sonia, I'll be honest with you, we were quite lucky from an Irish point of view that You know, they went, like you said, on a bit of a walkabout for 20 minutes. You wonder, though, when bigger teams come to town, and I'm looking at England in that what is teeing up for a Grand Slam deciding game, you know they won't do that. And you'd like to see this French team hit their straps and see what they're quite capable of, because tonight I think we saw them, but not fully as well as they could be, but still quite a statement to everyone around World Rugby. France have a bit of a game plan, and they know what they're at, and they've evolved probably the quickest to the new way of playing without the escorts.
Well, let's hear from the victorious French squad. Emmanuel Mathou has been giving his reaction to that win over Ireland.
We spoke about it during the week. Our last 3 years, we haven't really started well, so it's good to get a win against a very good and still dangerous Ireland team. We played well today, and we're happy with the win.
There's a lot of confidence in the French camp coming into this game, and you proved it. You dominated that first half. Was that almost a complete performance?
Yeah, pretty complete. We still have a lot of stuff to work on. We know we've got the quality to put up performances like that, and we've got the quality players there, and I think the more time we spend together, we'll keep getting better.
Some younger players came into the squad at the expense of older ones. Anton was back. How much of a boost was that? And do you feel you can defend this title?
Yeah, definitely. I think we believe in ourselves to take it all the way. Right now, we'll take it game by game. We'll have a little break, a few days, and then we'll get back into training. But yeah, the new boys that came in, they stepped up, they've earned their spot, and I'm happy for them.
France, very, very good this evening. So to Ireland, Donncha, and you know that the stick that has been used to beat Ireland of late, that it's an ageing team, that they're past their best. On the evidence of tonight, is there some justification in that?
Yeah, a little bit. Sonia, you're right. You could use the excuses, and they are there. Injuries. Look, we haven't the depth of squads to go that deep, but there's been a fundamental thought of probably relying on the Leinster base, and look, over the last few years that hasn't gone as well for the Leinster team, and now you're trying to integrate players with different players, and it's just been too much of a gap.
I think it's a really valid point, because previously, Sonia, the Leinster and Ireland game plans were kind of indistinguishable from one another. You take the Leinster team with Johnny Sexton at 10, you chuck in Tyg Byrne for his breakdown work, Mac Hansen, a bit of creativity, there's your Ireland team. Since Jacques Nienaber has come in a couple of years ago, Leinster play a completely different style of rugby, completely different to what they played when Stuart Lancaster was the senior coach.
The Voice.
Like chalk and cheese. So I think that is having a big impact on the Ireland team. It's just not the same, is it, link from Leinster to Ireland like there was?
Absolutely, and look, we've said it here about multi-phase, because these players are playing week in, week out with each other. They knew exactly what they were doing, and Chris made the point in comments about the French team. They don't even look, they can just leave the ball there for them. The Irish attack looks really awful at the moment. Multi-phase is non-existent, and look, they can be proud of themselves, but they have an awful lot of work to do. And I'll be honest with you, it's coming again next week. Italy, this Irish team are on the ropes at the moment, and everyone's coming after them. And Andy Farrell is right. They might be the hunted yet again, and they have to find the answers, because Six Nations rugby is ruthless, and they need to stop the rot at the moment.
Disappointing night for Ireland and their captain, Caelan Doris.
Definitely not how we hoped or foresaw. Started our campaign going. Left ourselves too tall a mountain to climb in the first half. Lacking a bit of bite, definitely. Some class from them, but not good enough from us. We didn't shut them down early enough. We allowed them to play some of their flowing, attacking rugby. Not good enough from us in the collision. Our kick chase let us down, connections-wise. Some grit and determination in the second half, good impact from our bench, but very disappointing overall.
19 tackles missed, I think, in the first half. Were France that good, or did you just fail to reach the levels that you're used to?
Not only was it 19 missed tackles, but the amount of offloads we allowed them to get away through soak tackles. We had targeted a lot of dominant tackles because we know how good they can be when they get their hands free, and we allowed them to do that way too much. I think some of our defence played into their hands through the lack of dominant collisions, which is exactly what they want, and they flourished with that.
Chris Ashton, is the jury still out on Sam Prendergast?
Well, I know we're talking a lot about Ireland and what the situation they're in here, but I'm not the only one that's not surprised by this. Really, I can't be. We've seen this coming for a while. We know the team's been ageing. I know they've got injuries, but even some of the injured players are the older players that aren't going to be around much longer. So I think we knew this situation was going to come from Ireland. I don't know if it's Andy Farrell just... It doesn't look as bad if they get a couple of results and they keep getting through it and fight away through it, and by the end they have a game plan and a team that they want to move forward with anyway. But yeah, I kind of thought this was going to happen at some point. The transition was coming. So I don't know if Sam is the answer or not. I do think Jack is probably a better all-round player right now. Jack Crowley's got an all-round game where he can, if the team needs to find a bit of space in the backfield, or he can just change his game plan, more of a George Ford style player, whereas Sam just seems he just wants to attack and he's just looking to try and break defences open all the time, which isn't the way these test matches are going to go.
So, I know you guys have got to go off and record the Rugby Union Daily. I'm going to assume that England, no disrespect to Wales, but England win at home tomorrow. So, the first game of tomorrow, Italy against Scotland in Rome.
Saturday, Sonia.
It's Thursday.
It's Thursday.
I fell into that trap.
We're all struggling with it.
It's like it's like when Christmas is around, you don't know what day of the week it is.
Exactly.
Okay, yeah. Forget everything I just said in the last 30 seconds.
Point remains. What's happening?
Point remains.
What's
Italy,
happening in the rest of the games?
Yeah, England are going to beat Wales. Italy or Scotland for the win on Saturday.
Yeah, good. Look, I think that's a really... It's not a bad start for Scotland. If you were to take... You'd want to avoid France, England or Ireland if you were Scotland on that opening weekend, but going to Rome, as they found out 2 years ago, is tough. And Italy often start campaigns well. Scotland can't think of anything. They can't think of the table. They can't think of competing for the title. They can't think about France at home or England at home. They've just got to think of Italy away, because we've seen too many times recently, if you don't take Italy completely seriously, they will beat you. They've got too many good players. They're too settled. They're too kind of structured and cohesive a team these days. So fascinating game. You would think, looking at the Scotland team today, the form they're in, the confidence of which Gregor Townsend's talking, I would back Scotland to win that game. But it's definitely not one that they can take lightly whatsoever.
In a word, Donica, Chris, Italy or Scotland?
Scotland for me, I think. Yeah,
Okay.
They might just have a bit too much.
Chris?
Okay, I'll go Italy, Sonia.
Oh, you always got to be contrary, haven't you, Chris Ashton? Which is why we love you. Thank you very much, chaps. I'll let you go off and pod.
Speak soon. Thanks a lot,
Speak
Son.
soon. That's the team out in Paris. It's headed by our correspondent, Chris Jones, but it's Chris Ashton and Donica O'Callaghan keeping you company tonight as the defending champions France make a really strong start to this year's Six Nations in the defence of their title. 5 tries, dazzling, all of them, to beat Ireland 36 points to 40.